I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. Oh, you meant the world to me. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares through. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Welcome to the RLCS 2026 2v2 North American Open. I'm Split FC. Joining me here is ZekVexol. Team Silenced are back. They have not made top 16 since Open 2, but they're back in the 2v2 Open, a World Championship spot up. The ability to represent North America is open if you can win this event. But today is the top 16. ZekVexol, we've been waiting for this moment to get Team Silenced to see Team Silenced in the top 16. Of course, all it takes is for us not to stream for them, and they're here once again.
Yeah, I mean, all of Split 2, you got to look at it. We've been following this Team Silence roster, and yes, Team Silence are back. Sporty and I are back, because we got to cover this. I mean, it's top 16 Team Silence, something we've been looking for, we've been craving, we've been desiring, and I mean, it goes without saying. The second split, it ended a little bit less desirable. You know, if you're Team Silence, you're looking at that one, how do we get away from that? How do we bounce back from the 3v3 split over there for the RLCS? And I honestly got to say, Pigeon and Resno coming on in here into the 2v2, bounce back phenomenally, taking this one by storm, going up against some crazy good opponents as well. I mean, some of the Energy roster being in this bracket, you got as well Gen G roster in this bracket. These guys have been fighting tooth and nail, losing only to the best of the best in the Rocket League scene. And here, I mean, it's not going to be any different. It is an uphill battle, and it continues today, Sporty.
It definitely continues today, and you've already started talking about the bracket here. You've kind of jumped a little early here, ZekVexol, but this is what our group, and we have to talk a little bit about our bracket. This is what our side of the bracket looks like. It's 16 teams today, split into 2 groups of 8, and it's very simple. Win twice, you're in to the top 8. Lose twice, and you can say goodbye to RLCS 2v2 Open, and goodbye to that World Championship spot. That's a lot to think about here. What's also a lot to think about is this isn't 3v3 anymore. This is 2v2. This is the one 2v2 event of the season. Not only could you play from the World Championship, considering that you win this thing, but it's in a different mode than what these players are used to here. Now, if you know anything about the pro scene, ZekVexol, you'll know these players primarily play 2v2. Pro players primarily play 2v2. That's the main game mode of the pro scene. But for RLCS, they're not so used to that. You don't have your competitive team. It's not like your standard 3v3 scrims. You don't have as much practice. A lot of these guys kind of teaming up, practicing, trying to reform old duos. You're seeing a lot of teams split up and players go all over the place. This is what our side of the bracket looks like, though. 8 teams here. The big one being Space Station Gaming at the number 1 seed. Tequeños is also a pretty solid roster as well. Space Station, the roster, Reveal and Zach Tequeños. Their team being that of First Killer and Atomic. So Energy and Shopify Rebellion there representing that team as well. We'll move to Group B here in just a moment as well to show you what that looks like. Now, Group B is going to be starting later, so we're not going to have anything to talk about for Group B while we are live, but this is what Group B looks like. Gen G, when the teams that beat us is there, NRG is there, Virtus Pro, some very good teams, Juice and Monk are in there. That's a team that I'm looking at to do quite well in this event. But for us, ZekVexol, we're in Group A. The matches have just begun, and, you know, for us here, our first match in just a few moments will be against Sup. But before we talk about our upcoming match here against Sup, is there something you want to talk about? Is there any matches here that you think could be really fun to watch out for? Are there any teams here that you're really interested in? Any players that you're interested in? I think 2v2, so often we get to see players in maybe they're more natural mode. Sometimes you'll see new people show up. Sometimes you'll see pros struggle a little bit more. People who are used to 3v3 not do so well. Any players, any teams that you're looking at as really important performers and people that can contend for the top of the tournament?
I think it goes without saying that when you see on your side of the bracket SSG, when you see Dig as well, I mean, it's not hard to say. Big names here, it's going to be a little bit scary. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be an uphill battle. I mean, SSG as well, if anybody who was watching over there during that Paris Major, some guys who really were the enemy. You know, everybody was looking at that. I kind of posted about it too on Twitter when they were coming out there doing the Global Gym Purple Cobras, you know, walking down the lane. I thought it was super cool. They knew they were the enemy. They knew they were public enemy number 1, the villains, and they absolutely wrote it to death. But now coming on in, sitting at this top of this bracket, it's going to be an uphill battle. They are on our end of the bracket as well. We knock out Sup, we knock them on down into the lowers, and guess what? Next up could be Space Station Gaming or White Room. Now, you kind of highlighted a little bit about the 3v3s, the 2v2s, a little bit of the difference, and a lot of these pro players do end up practicing a lot of the 2v2s, playing a lot of the 2v2s, and honestly for good reason. When you really look at it in the 3v3 side of things, you have a lot of those good rotations, the team understanding, the good mechanics. That's fine and dandy and all, okay? The 2v2s kind of have this different feel to them, okay? And there's the power of two, you know, I don't know if anybody knows Army of Two, a fun old game right there. You know, you and your homie getting at it, and it has this, you have this kind of connection, this fundamental understanding of you and him, and you're on the same page. It's a lot harder to have in the 3v3s, but in the 2v2s, when you're sitting there, it's just you and him. You can have your best guy right there, someone who you understand inside and out. And, you know, a lot of the comms aren't even really words half the time. You know, a lot is just understanding each other.
Said it as well. A lot of it is understanding each other, and the thing about Pigeon and Resinal here on Team Silence, that's our roster for today. Taking on Sup, which is Expert and Matter. Matter maybe some of you will know by the name of Daunt that he used to go by, but one of the things that's going to be interesting about 2v2 is the fact is longevity, is how long these rosters have been together, how long these players have known each other. Resinal and Pigeon have been teammates well before Team Silence, so that's part of the reason why they've teamed up for this. Expert and Matter have been teammates in 3v3 before, so we're just getting things going here. It's all match today, our best of 5. For Expert and Matter, obviously, we're going to talk about them and their run a little bit while we are at this. As I mentioned before, Team Silence, their losses so far have been against teams that are in the top 16 here in this event. Those teams being Genji and, if I can get it up correctly here, they lost to Genji and they lost to Dignitas. So for Sup, it's a little different from them here. They lost once in double elimination. They also lost once in the top 32. The loss in the top 32 came to NRG, which I don't think anyone's going to be surprised about. Their loss in this double elimination portion, though, came to a team known as JG. Now, that is Justin and Garrett. They're not in the top 16. That's a team that fell in the top 32. So you have to imagine here, as well, that, you know, for Sup at least, you know, being a team that's lost energy, has lost some pretty solid rosters, you know, and for Team Silence, being teams that maybe aren't exactly expected to make it to the top 8 or at least not make a big run, this is a big match. You want to start out well, and I remember the last time we saw Team Silence back in, what was it, Open 1, where they did make it to top 8. They had a huge win in the first round against Lotus 8 Esports. That was a huge upset early in the tournament. These teams need that. These teams need a big win here, a big performance, because if you want to make a deep run, if you want to contend for that World Championship spot, that's only for the winners. You gotta have some pretty impressive wins. These teams have struggled so far this season to beat the teams ahead of them. They gotta start doing that here, or else, even if they make top 8, I can't expect them to make it further than that.
Yeah, Team Silence is not a team who's a stranger to the adversity, who's a stranger to these higher level, higher caliber players. If you want to be the best, you got to surround yourself with the best, you got to play like the best, you got to play with the best, and guess what? Honestly, Team Silence has time and time again surrounded themselves with the competition that they want to become. Even in that last one, watching them versus M80, you know, Virtus Pro knocking us on down, you know, NRG all the way back in Open number 1, knocking down Team Silence in that lower bracket to make that lower bracket run. They've been fighting these guys tooth and nail every step of the way all season long. They've been a part of the conversation. They made it to that top 8 stage, and now they're here top 16 in the 2v2s, granted, but I don't think that it's going to be really any different story, you know? Once you start playing at that level, doesn't matter what game it is, doesn't matter what anything that it is, once you start doing something at a specific level, surrounding yourself with people at that level, it's a total game changer for you really at the end of the day, because you start picking up good habits, better habits. You start playing up to that level, you know, scrim up, practice up, play up, compete up constantly. Find that higher competition, challenge them, and yeah, you're gonna get stomped sometimes. Right away, especially, you're gonna get put in the dirt, you know? If you walk out there as someone who's maybe copper, bronze, and going up against energy, they're gonna pummel you, you know? Sooner or later, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a year down the line, 2 years, but you'll start, you know, getting a little bit, understanding how they're moving around the map, and all it takes is the patience.
All it takes is that patience. Now, I know some of you in chat are asking, we can hear the game playing. The game's not playing right now. We're doing a lobby test while we're waiting. Oh, and they just ended it, and there goes my overlay. Thanks, guys. You're going to get to see a great scoreline here of 69-42. I promise you that we didn't just play a game. Although, I'll be honest, if a game ends like that, that's going to be the best game that we're going to have all day. But no, in all seriousness here, as we'll update this a little bit in a moment here. This is the upper quarterfinals. Again, we'll show you what our bracket looks like once more today, for all of you who are wondering. Again, 2 wins you're through, 2 losses you're out. The winner of this takes on Space Station Gaming or White Room. Space Station Gaming, as I mentioned, that is Reveal and Zach. White Room, who made a pretty impressive team make it this far. That's Swaz and Martine, aka Turt. Martine also goes by Turt sometimes, but that's Swaz and Martine who are playing in this one. Swaz actually listed on a 3v3 team. Currently, they're on Team Plus, which is a team that's made some pretty impressive runs close to the top 16 before. So that's a team that Space Station's playing against right now here. Of course, RLCS mainstream is also live. The RL Esports stream on twitch.tv/Rocket League is also live. So if you want to catch everything today, you can go watch that channel after you watch us, of course. And we'll have everything out there for all of you. We're moments away from getting things started here. ZekVexol, all matches today are best of 5. But before we go in, quick comments, quick last second things. What do you talk about here for Team Silence? If you're Team Silence, what are you talking about? What is it that we need to mention? You know, what is it that if you are Pigeon and Resinal, what are you talking about here before you get into your match? And really, what is going to be a huge match. So it's going to set the foundation for how they perform for the rest of the tournament.
What I can really discuss is a lot of what we saw back during split number 2. I mean, it was the last time we really had a good showing for Team Silence against high-level competition, like we mentioned, the NRGs, the M80s, the Virtus Pros. I can go down the list once more. The last time we saw them, Pigeon, very aggressive, very in your face, trying to do a lot of those solo plays, you know, and there was I would say at the start of the split, Resinal was a little bit quiet. He started building up a lot of great pressure, a lot of great momentum throughout the rest of the split and really coming into his own. However, 2v2 is a lot different story than those 3s. Number one thing you mentioned was that coordination, that team play, that experience with one another, and we're going to see that come into play right here, right now, Sporty.
Sups on the blue, Team Silence on the orange, top 16 guaranteed for both the teams. They made it last weekend. They've had a whole week to prepare for this. But 2v2 begins once again here for day 4 of the RLCS 2026 2v2 North American Open. Again, big thank you before we start to our sponsors in Coldstone Creamery and Rogue Energy. You'll see their logos in the top right corner for the entirety of the broadcast today. But for Team Silenced, they gotta get their energy levels up high, and you mentioned a lot about Pigeon, about how scary he is. I'm not surprised he's done as well as he has so far. There's a vent, and he's already got a goal in. 30 seconds is all he needed, and Team Silenced already up by 1. And expect this from Pigeon. I mentioned it before. I'm not surprised to see him do this well in 2s. He's very, very good. His playstyle works for 2s, and you see it work here.
Yeah, number 1, Pigeon, bird in the air, aerial, watch Pigeon in the air. You let this guy get ball control moving around through the sky, he's going to be putting it in the goal. Okay, that's great, number 1. Number 2, defend your backboard. What happened there? Completely open, and Pigeon is going to be able to capitalize on that all day, every day. There's no doubt in my mind. The third thing that I got to be talking about, okay? I talk about it all the time. 60-second goal, that is a pressure goal. 30-second goal, that's a yikes pressure goal. That's hyper pressure goal. Okay, getting 1 in the first 30. Granted, it was 31 seconds, albeit I'm still going to count it as the first 30-second pressure goal. Team Silence, they're rocking, they're rolling. Now they just got to keep this one going. Resinal takes this over into the right side corner. Had a good play right there. Looks at the open goal opportunity. Matt is able to get a nice little pinch to keep it on going. Pigeon trying to force his way on through, and look at this. This is what I love about the 2s. The patience needs to be that much more important, and I'm going to be honest, I'm all eyes on Pigeon, not for the fancy plays, but for that patience today.
And really, Resinal, I'm actually looking at as also being that patient guy, because he's often going to be the one to start. I think I'll start a lot of the offense here. He's often going to be the one that wants to begin things. Rarely do you see the less mechanical 2 players, at least by knowledge, go for the kind of initiation plays. And you're seeing Resinal do that here, kind of playing up in the air, playing well. I'm also watching Sup to be a little bit nervous. So far, they've been a little bit nervous defensively. You've seen a couple double kits already. You've seen a good amount of overcommits as well. Here's one here. That one's not going to go in for Expert, but scary scenes if you are Sup, because so far, one thing I've noticed is this: overcommits, lack of communication. It just doesn't look like they're coordinated right now, and Team Silenced are firing on all cylinders in game 1.
Deepest man downfield ended up being the ball. Look at that, Matt. 180, like, oh no, I thought you had it. I know that one ripped out in the comms, and unlucky. That one ends up slipping on past, but Team Silence fans, all of you probably hanging out here, maybe most of you hanging out here, should better be all of you, right? We're doing a Team Silence stream here. Team Silence are leading right now 2-0, just over 2 minutes into game number 1. Remember, best of 5, so you gotta come out swinging, and that is another one of those big things we do talk about with Team Silence. How are they gonna start? Is it going to be electric? Is it going to be fast-paced? Are they going to be, minimizing those mistakes, and hit the ground running right off the rip? Because if you find yourself in that difficult position where you allow this one to go to, game 5 or, all the way to series 5 in a Swiss bracket, thankfully didn't do that this time, maybe we're seeing a little bit of a change of pace for Team Silence.
Yeah, you said it as well, and that's one thing I'm going to look into. I mean, they went 3-1 in Swiss. It's the best performance they've ever had in a Swiss bracket, the best performance they've ever done in a Swiss bracket. And you said it, one of the things that Team Silence struggles with is being able to start games off strong. They are a team that, at least for threes, is rather defensive, rather passive, and can be a team that can struggle on that aspect. So one thing I'll definitely want to watch on here is, well, maybe watch your double commits there. Pigeon's going to get to that save, but it's going to be all the, it's going to be how they start. So far, so good, but that's not going to help them out. Expert with a very smart 50-50. He delays his challenge. He knows that Team Silence is low on boost. He just demoed Pigeon, so he knows Resinal doesn't have very much either. And he lets him challenge him. He knows he's going to win that 50, and he lets Resinal sort of score the goal for him.
Yeah, near side sitting right next to each other. Resinal doing his best to contest that one, but honestly, expertly done, is able to force his way right on through. And the demos are absolutely impactful in threes, but most especially in twos, because you don't have that third man downfield. You don't have anybody playing that shadow defense, cheating on that, chilling, watching, lurking, keeping an eye on the ball, watching the field. No, nobody's back there. You lose your deepest man downfield. You lose that guy who's supposed to be there, and you find yourself in a dire situation of playing recovery. 90 seconds remaining here on the clock. Resinal trying to bring it on down. A little bit more offense going for Team Silence. You still got the lead. It's not that two-goal buffer that you were looking for, but you still holding on down. Pigeon takes to the sky, up over the top to the backboard. Resinal with the follow-up. It's clean, baby. Now they got that 2-goal back.
You said it, now they got the 2 goals back, and one thing that they've done so well this game is, again, just this breakout play. They have really done well to capitalize, I think, on Sup's anxiety. This team looks anxious. They look a bit nervous. You would think if any team would be nervous, it'd be Team Silence, since they haven't been here since Open 2, and yet they're the ones that look way more in their element right now. And they've done well in a game one that has been surprisingly low scoring for both these teams. And typically, 2v2, you see a lot more goals. This game, we haven't seen that much. Only 4 goals for both these teams. Of course, Team Silence would love to have one more to really shut things down, but I think for them, they're going to chalk this up as a major victory because, I mean, it's your first game in top 16. You haven't been here in a while for Pigeon or Resinal. You obviously know just how good this sub team is. This is a team that has players that are consistent at making it these kind of runs in RLCS. So if your Team Silence, you'll chalk this up as a major victory. Not only did you take the win, which is something that they struggled with in Game 1, but they also did it looking really comfortable. I mean, this is a team that just, again, I said it, they look like they're in their element. They don't look too nervous. They're playing their game, and they're making Sub really look scared, which is not an easy thing to do at this level.
No, I think one of the big things that you did highlight a little bit earlier, it's that kind of, got a little bit nervous right there. Okay, I'm going to hold my breath for a few seconds. We'll bring it down in the recap after this game. 10 seconds left on the clock. Time is running on out here for Sup in game number 1. Team Silence get the ball down over into the blue with no time left on the clock. Single digits ticking on down no matter what Sup does. Team Silence are taking game number 1, and now can talk a little bit more comfortably about it's that nerves. You know, both of these teams are in a great position to be in this top 16 bracket. You're gonna be nervous regardless. You don't want to be making mistakes. If you normally see these 2v2 matches as being high scoring, well, everybody's trying to make sure that they're checking all their boxes offensively and defensively, not giving up those little openings, because those little openings in this scenario against these teams, those are big openings. Okay, remember, ball's width, that's all you need to put that sucker in the net.
Yeah, you said it as well. All they needed was just a single whip of the ball. And again, you said it, nerves. It was definitely a nervous game for Sup. I don't doubt that they're going to be able to improve, but in terms of what we saw from them, also one-on-one, Team Silence just was able to kind of isolate those one-on-one plays. Typically in 2v2, you never want to be left one-on-one or 2-on-1 against, because that means your first player probably did something wrong. And again, so far, so good for Team Silenced. But again, we'll have to wait and see as things continue. But for Team Silence, again, they look comfortable, they look calm, they look, again, like they're doing their thing. And again, it's Sup who was left isolated in a lot of plays. You saw them left isolated, you saw them play a lot of 1v1 defense, you saw them look nervous. They, at the very beginning of the game especially, they looked kind of awkward. After this game, we'll see if they can adapt and improve. I would expect that they can. I mean, knowing the players on this roster, they're not the kind of players that would strike me as being nervous players, but it all comes down to how they play in game 2. For now, Team Silenced have done their job. They've started the series off well. Question is now to just continue it, to keep it going, and really keep playing those one-on-one games. That isolation that they're leaving Sup to is really working well for Team Silenced.
Yeah, break them apart, really try to discombobulate, I'm going to say, a little bit of a vocab word for their communication and spread them on out and try to see if you can break their focus like my camera's focus broke just a moment ago. Over into the corner, Team Silence off the kickoff, seen a little bit of aggression here from Sup. Reznal, though, he's taken to the sky. We're getting to that 30-second mark. Watch out, because Team Silence is looking to bite over to the right side. Pigeon does get a little bit of a contest with Expert, looking to bring it on back. Reznal, that's what we're looking for. Just nice, cool, calm, collected. Watch it. Demo, though, double demo. Good night, goodbye. That one's going into the net. It's Sup who take the first one this time around. You can't have that. I was talking about one demo, but Force 40. What about two?
Yeah, what about a miss as well from Pigeon that really starts that play? Matter with an open net, but you said it. Expert gets it done. A little bit of help from the whiff as well. That's how that play evolves. If Pigeon gets that touch, I think we still probably see a goal with both players getting removed as quickly as they did. So for Team Silence now, their first time with a deficit in this series. We'll see how they handle it. Matter late to Expert. That back post looking a bit open there, and Team Silence will need to be a little more cautious than that. Matt again. Reznal waits, and one thing to talk about as well, that there was an update in between top 16 and top 32. Players can now choose where they spawn off of demos. That's something that I'm sure a lot of teams will be talking about. We got to talk about it as well. There's going to be a lot of demos today.
Oh, yeah.
You have to imagine it, and with all these demos, with the ability to choose where you're spawning, you're going to see a lot of, skill now involved in where you spawn after a demo. Do you spawn close to the net, but maybe easier to demo again, or do you spawn away from that? A little bit tougher to make the save, but a lot tougher to reach if you're trying to avoid the bump.
You really got to be a good listener when you get demoed. I think that's going to be the big case. Understanding where your team is, what you're doing, where you need to be is going to be the key factor there. And I did also see an awesome shout out over on Twitter, like just the other day, about that update. I can't remember which pro player it was. I'll have to look it up to give credit where credit is due. Who was talking about, guys, rebind your keys over there so that you can hard pull your joystick in whatever direction you want to go and switch with it. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
No, I know who it is. That's Mizu that you're talking about.
That was Mizu?
Which, that's the first time someone's ever called Mizu a pro.
I thought, no, so the one I saw...
I've heard a lot of things about Mizu, but I've never heard someone call him a pro player. So that's a first in my time.
I don't think I saw it from Mizu.
Okay. It might have been, maybe it was like...
Maybe a little repost, yeah.
Might have been a repost.
I'll have to look. It's Twitter, anything happens on Twitter.
A lot of pros have been talking about this because, again, it's such a new update, something that you got to get used to very quickly, and something that's going to be really important in a mode like this where demos are pretty common and pretty good at scoring. As a big open net there, Matter tried to play the bluff, and Pigeon called him out immediately on that. And he saw, as soon as Matter didn't jump early, he knew Matter wasn't going to go for that. Because if Matter's going to go for that, he goes for it early, because he could get an aerial play to the back wall. He doesn't. It's open, and Pigeon just takes it, and Team Silence sniffing it out. Again, nervous players in that position don't go for it, because they know how good Matter is, but Pigeon does. He's not nervous, and neither is Reznal. It's tied already. A kickoff goal makes it 2-2, and Team Silence waiting all game for the opportune moment. It's come in strides.
One of those critical things to talk about all the time. Watch those kickoffs, okay? Even at the highest of high levels, all the way on the RLCS main stage, all the way in the World Championship Grand Finals, you can see kickoff goals happening. It happens to the best of the best because it's such a critical time in the game. You can have a 0-0 score game, and all of a sudden you got back-to-back kickoff goals going. Now, okay, I'll sum this one up. Be careful on the kickoff. Pigeon looking to go ahead, bring it on down, get aggressive once more. 2-2. 2:22 remaining on the clock. Matt with the pop-up, bringing it over towards the 50 line. Does get a nice little clear over to the left side wall. Goes for a secondary touch, but Reznal is waiting for that one up to the backboard. Reznal wasn't able to get high enough, but Matt, a little bit off the money. A little bit of handoff to Expert. This patience could benefit them right here unless all of a sudden Pigeon looks to strike, stripped away, brought over to the left side. Reznal alone looking to keep it going over to Pigeon, takes it up. A little bit of a slow floater, drop it on down, gets an angle, Expert denies.
Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of mechanical goals today, I think, from these players. You're going to see a lot more mechanical setups, mechanical shots that get blocked, but the follow-up goes in. That's where I'm going to expect to see Pigeon and Reznal really succeed. These guys like to do that kind of stuff. It's something that Pigeon especially was really good at in the 3v3 mode, something Reznal could do as well. He could clean up if he was playing well. You saw often Reznal take that mechanical head start as well. Tied at 2, though. Still a chance to come back. Still a chance to score for either team. And for Sup, it would be a big game for them. Expert Reset will use it to the back post. That's gone wide of the net as well. 2 chances in a row. Expert and Matter have just hit wide of the net on foot resets. Resinal by 1. Matter's in a bad position here. He will get the clear away. Pigeon low on boost. He'll let Matter send it away. Full tank now. Cleared away. Resinal is up. He can score from here. Up the corner. Towards the net. Resinal! Oh, it's unbelievable!
What a double from the corner. Look at this. Pigeon tops it up over to Reznal. He takes it to himself and gets the angle. And talk about a cut right there, right across. Very much he was able to get that. And honestly, great skill, great read. Team Silence, all of a sudden, the 1-2-3 goal swing right in their favor, taking the lead here in the final 60. Pigeon looking for another kickoff goal. And funny enough, Sporty, I think you and I can both recall a lot of those kickoff plays that Team Silence was trying to do throughout the second split. I mean, especially, I would say in open number 6, where we witnessed a heck of a lot of those kickoff plays get put on out, where they were looking for, you know, some of those fake kickoffs, work their way around, see if they could sneak it around on down. So Team Silence looks for those plays. They look for that quick aggression. Good play right there. Pigeon interrupts it, and then Reznal just coming on in to get the clear away, bring it on down over to the left side corner. This one might get down into the final 15, Sport, but we're over in the blue.
Oh, big miss from Resinal, though. It's an open net for Matter. If he can take it, he won't. He ran out of boost midway. Pitching to clear. That got close for Team Silence. Only a 1-goal lead. They just need this ball to hit the floor at this point. Pigeon slowly does it towards the net. Cleared away by Matter, but he will not get there in time. It's 2-0 now for Team Silence. The back wall double tap from heaven from Resinal wins them the game and puts them on triple match point. The series is not over, but things are still looking good for Team Silence.
All you need is one more now. You're in a prime position to put this one away, but this is where teams start to get desperate. And I don't mean like, okay, maybe I partially mean desperate as in they pull out some weird little niche things up. Looking at this, they don't want to get knocked on down into the lower bracket, because who could possibly get knocked on down in the lower bracket? You might find yourself in a very difficult position where you end up going up against Dignitas out of nowhere. You know, it's not something that you want to see, but it's not something that's impossible either. We saw it in a lot of our brackets, in a lot of our matches. Upsets happen, and you could find yourself on the back end of a really rough matchup. So really making sure you pull out all the stops right here. Don't let anything go. Have a potential for the reverse sweep. It's up to Team Silence to lock in right here and find themselves in the winter semifinals.
As an update for the other side of the bracket, the match that the winner of this series will be playing against either White Rabbit or Space Station Gaming. It's right now, well, it's right now 1-0 for White Rabbit, but it's going to be 1-1 in a few moments here. Space Station is leading 6-3 in Game 2, so that game is now going to Game 3, and that series we'll be paying attention to closely as well, because the winner of this plays against them in the next part of the bracket. For Team Silence, though, job not done, work not over, and they would like a good start here. Game 2 started off a bit slow for them. They went down 2-0, and, well, you can come back, and as you said, upsets are very possible as well, and Team Silence trying to prove that here, being the team that's actually a lower seed than Sub. I think they're a higher seed, but they are listed as a lower seed than Sub. Sub had a better bracket for the Swiss stage. Team Silence, though, not going to take too kindly to that. They would like an early lead, and like they did in Game 1, get that momentum rolling early. I mean, Game 1 was so good looking from them. They really didn't look like they were going to lose in Game 1. Game 2, a whole lot closer, and that, I think a lot of it is due to Sub getting that lead early, immediately putting Team Silence under the back foot as Matter. Ooh, didn't get a flippers that he liked from that play, and well, he will go for the bump. Expert's right up with him, and Sub with a really not great looking rotation there. Matter and Expert kind of running into each other, and now they're still having a tough time. Pigeon ran out of boost, so no chance to score there. Resinal will play the early challenge. Bumped out of the way. Pigeon clears it upfield. He will force the play from Matter. Resinal will win the 50-50 challenge as well. Expert on nothing. It's Resinal to Pigeon towards the net. He's going to go back post, and Expert will be there for the save.
I think one of the big things that you highlighted in the last round, I want to say, or last match, was that this isn't so much a mechanical game. You know, we got some great mechanically skilled players, absolutely, but it's a lot more, I would say, the methodical, the mind game. How well you can out-strategize your opponent, how well you can work together with your duo, your opponent. Put that one in quotes and see if we can get away with it. How well you can sit there and actually, it takes a lot more brain power, I would say, than the simple, I am just simply better than you. Let me go ahead and show you that. Pigeon, though, trying to say, hey, I am just better than you. Let me look for a little bit of an aerial play here. Isn't going to be able to get it. Look at Matt forcing his way on through, down it in, pop up, hits the back post, and then secondary touch to put it on into the net. Sup end up taking the lead here in game 3 as well. Is Team Silence going to be able to turn this one back?
Well, they did it last game out of the two-goal difference here. Matter's been a problem for Team Silence because anytime he's one-on-one, he seems to be able to score, and he's going to do it again off the kickoff here. You know, the kickoff goal this series, it's again for Matter, and it's again 2-0 for Sup early in game. Well, not early, I guess. It's halfway through, but it's in game 3. And once again, the problems, you know, persist. You ask the questions on if Team Silence can do it again. They did it last game. They came back from 2 goals to win 3-2. They gotta do it again, and now with even less time. The benefit is, they're up 2-0 in the series. They could lose this game, and you would still feel like they're the team that can win the series right now, the way that they're playing. But, win here for Sup would start the seed of doubt in Team Silence. Then, they're a team that, you know, knows how tough it is to come back when a team's got momentum. They've been in that reverse sweep position before. They have been the team to get the reverse sweep twice, actually, on the stream during RLCS events, and they don't want to be on the receiving end of that here. But if Sup are able to plant the seed of doubt, who knows, that can absolutely happen.
Well, especially with the third one from Matt, gets himself the hat trick, steals the ball away and sends it on down, puts it into the net. Sup, they got 3 above Team Silence now, getting down to the final 2 minutes. Kickoff underway. Watch it. Expert, a little bit of a fake. You saw that right there. Expert went to the side. Matt was chilling behind. Resnal gets power, gets possession, brings it over to the backboard, but ultimately gets denied. Now Expert with the flip reset. Matt interferes, and that one is just going on in. Someone has flipped a switch in Sup. They've handed the controllers to their big brothers.
Yeah, it is, and Expert's able to play that one around. It's for Sup, at least. They're getting a good amount of room from the midfield towards that box, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Unfortunately for Team Silence, the problem is that Sup's adding bumps into that play. This is very aggressive, and we've seen them do this all series. It's just as the first 2 games, it hasn't been a big issue because they haven't been able to land their shots as they want to. But now that they are, you can see why they've made it as far as they have in this tournament. I mean, that's a playstyle that, while very aggressive, if you do it well, can get you very far. Goal for Resnal, though. To answer back, Team Silence will not be shut out in this game. But, I think the question we ask now for Team Silence is, if this game ends up being a loss, are they going to be able to answer to what Sup's doing? Sup have warmed up, they've practiced, they're ready, and you can see their aggression is very strong. Can Team Silence really block them? Because if they can block Sup's offense, I mean, it's an open net the other way. This Sup team is so aggressive that if you can just block them, they send both players up to everything. In theory, you should be fine from that. As well as another goal for Pigeon.
Man.
Comeback is very possible.
Yeah, absolutely. A minute and a half. You got plenty of time for 2 goals to tie, 3 to take the lead, and especially at the pace that you're going right now. Let's hope Team Silence can just keep this momentum going, keep the ball rolling, get those pass plays on down, and like you said, punish that aggression that we're seeing from Sup. Ooh, fake goal this time over from Team Silence. Pigeon goes for the bump right there. Resnal unfortunately unable to get behind the ball, though. Now Matt takes it over to the side while Expert is waiting for it, gets it passed to the right side. Backboard is kind of just floating there. Matt goes for the pickup, back up to the backboard, but this one ultimately a little bit too much power behind it. Sup playing super aggressive, very in your face. Now, can they get it on pass though? One demo onto Resnal is gonna shut down this momentum from Team Silence. Pigeon needs to slow play it here until Resnal can get on back, bring it over to the backboard, go for the double, but can't get the right angle this time around.
Open net as well will be 5-2 here for Sup, so that will almost certainly silence Team Silence in Game 3. A double commit for Resnal. I'm sure he's going to want that shot back because there was no pressure on him on that play. They didn't jump to at him. He may have expected to jump. Players in that position usually jump to try to get the block unless they don't have boost. And Sup, they didn't actually have a lot of boost, so they waited. I think Resnal would have is going to be pretty disappointed on that play because that was a crucial opportunity. He scores that, and it's a 1-goal difference, and who knows? We've seen Team Silence come back last game. We know that's very possible. Here goes Resnal again, stopped by Matter, who has done a good job, and Sup have done a good job at limiting the second shots for Team Silence. They know, for Team Silence at least, it's a mechanical team. They haven't really been scoring on their mechanical shots. As you said, they've been a team that's been trying to outsmart them here, and a lot of it just comes down to getting good secondary efforts, getting good follow-up options. Team Silence have done that with speed as well. Sup's done a good job at a lot of these first touches to clear the ball away and limit the speed at which Team Silence can move. And while Team Silence still get these shots, The problem for them right now is that they may have good first shots. The second shots aren't coming in fast enough, and they're having a tough time reading Sup, who are really up the pace of this game and are going to require Team Silence that if they are to win this series, they're going to need to play a whole lot faster.
Yeah, game number 3 going on down. Sup will walk away with the victory, bring it back a little bit, but honestly, a little bit is a lot of it, especially in a best-of-5 series that you've got to look at. And just going to highlight, Rocket League is a momentum-based game at the end of the day. Team Silence had that momentum. They were rocking. They were rolling. It felt like they had that going for them. And all of a sudden, bam, the stopgap from Sup came on through. Then they get the 5-2 victory on top of it. Now you're going to ask the question, can Team Silence turn this one back around, get the momentum in their favor? Sup, I'm going to be entirely honest, game number 1, game number 2, and for about 2.5 minutes of here in game number 3, they looked a little uncomfortable. They couldn't really get in their groove, and all of a sudden, you know, it was like a light switch. Things just flipped for them. There we go. You know, and they were getting good flicks on the ball. There we go. Able to convert that and keep that one going, convert those into goals, and just turn this game right on around. So it is going to be about momentum, I think, on this one and maintaining your cool. Sup were able to just take a big breather, understand that they know exactly what they need to do in order to be here, in order to compete here. And so now game number 4, I'm asking the big question, who's going to be stealing away that momentum?
Yeah, you said it, and who's going to be able to get that lead? So far, last 2 games have been marked by really strong performances from Sup in the first half. Team Silence either going to slow that down, shut them down, or bring their own offense to play. We'll see what version we get, if any. So far, they almost got scored on there. Great recovery, though, from Pigeon, who has gone for, I think, a card change into this game. Resinal gets by 1. Pigeon there, he will not have a lot of boost, though. He'll have to play this one slowly. Resinal looking to get through Expert. He'll get by 1. Now around Matter. He's going to get the bump as well. Here goes Pigeon. Oh, he backflipped. He didn't like his effort. He'll look again. Taking it slow. Demo online, so Pigeon's got to be careful here. Pinched away by Matt. Resinal can't go. Now he can. Expert's got to play defensive. And here we go. 1-on-1. Matter's got boost. He's on the respawn. Resinal. Flip reset. Towards the net. Easily blocked by Matter. It wasn't high enough for him to be forced out, and look at this control from him. Down the field he goes. All that Team Silence wanted, taken away, and Sup have done a really good job at only letting Team Silence shoot once at a time, slow that response, slow that second effort. If Team Silence can't get those secondary efforts when the defense is weak, that's a lot of the goals that they had in their last couple games gone. And Expert, he's gonna score here.
Yeah, just stripped away. All that pressure instantly gone. Sup showing that they can capitalize on those instances, those split-second decisions. Expert finds the aerial opportunity, strips it away. Ball goes down to the net. Who's down there? Absolutely no one. Team Silence playing this aggressive front, cheating on them, getting up in your face, looking to make those aggressive plays, and for good reason, too. I mean, they've seen great success on it throughout this series and throughout their careers. Let's be entirely honest. It was one of the big things that we've been highlighting all throughout split number 2, and I'm sure you as well during split number 1 for this Team Silence rosters. They like being very aggressive. They like this cheating up style, getting very much in your face. So I'm not real surprised to be seeing that happening again here. Now the question is, are you checking all your boxes off in order to get that aggression going? Demo on the Resinal is going to slow down this little bit of pressure. Pigeon just needs to get the ball downfield, though, and you know, just kind of relieve some of this. Allow Team Silence to breathe for a moment, because it does feel like they are just under fire back to back to back right now.
Yeah, Sup aren't the same nervous team we saw in the first game of this series. Far from it here, but they are still the same aggressive team that they were at the start of this series, and Team Silence have not been able to fully take advantage of that. Here goes Resinal! He can hit that angle. Unfortunately, that is a very difficult angle to make, and he'll go back to defense. Matter now. Pigeon's actually going to beat him to this ball and play it back for Resinal. Resinal trying to play for the bump on Expert. He'll leave it for Pigeon. Room to work. All boost tanks now for Team Silence. Matter is up, though. That's a really great challenge. In fact, so good, he's going to be able to challenge Resinal on it as well. Up to the sidewall. Full boost for Sup at this point. Resinal needs to get by 1. He'll play it aside for Pigeon. Off the sidewall. Here he goes. Back wall. Easily played by Matter. And again, Sup still not letting Team Silence get extended time on offense. Chance to shoot. Tough save for Pigeon. He'll get this one. And for Team Silence, the only benefit they can have this game. We're halfway through. So far, the best they've looked in this game compared to the last 2 games, this is better. Only 1 goal given up so far. We're more than halfway through. If Team Silence offense can start clicking, it will not take much for them to take the lead.
Got a little dangerous, though. I mean, you're watching the sub roster, one of them playing with the ball. Matt, in that instance, playing with the ball, moving his way on forward, looking for the flick, looking for the opportunity. An Expert just going for the demo, going for that bump, that removal of that last man. That is the biggest challenge in this instance because the rotations, they're on point and they're more impactful. Those bumps are more impactful. Demos are more impactful. Ball is just right in front of the goal. Team Silence, they're able to get it on out of there, bringing it on down. Look at this right side corner, playing Expert already waiting for it and gets it, meets up with it over into that corner. A little bit of congestion here from all 4 members, but ultimately gets sent over to the neutral zone. Expert sees opportunity, walks it down, and wow, what a fake! Fakes him right, stops the ball, stops everything right there, and just look at this right here. Go right now, instant cut! Holy,
yeah.
Wow!
Well, all Sup's doing is waiting for the opportunity for the space to be given to them here. They've gotten it twice this game. Team Silence have not seen the same success as before. And oh my, what a pinch from Matter. That's going to try to make things a little bit more difficult here. Team Silence in desperate need of a goal late in this game. Comebacks are possible, but you don't want to rely on them this late. Resinol to Pigeon. Oh, he's going to take it himself. Resinol scores. He didn't want Pigeon taking it, even though Pigeon would have had an easy shot regardless. Team Silenced is back in it, 1 goal away. 58 seconds. We have not seen much from the Team Silenced offense this game, but their defense has played well enough to allow for them a resurgence if that's what they can do. I'm still asking if they can do it. We haven't seen enough of them.
Yeah, how well can you get in their face confidently but not overconfidently is definitely the big question I need to ask. And something that I definitely need to say is look at Sub's boost control, constantly sitting up 80s, 90, or maxed out at 100. They're constantly ready for that play. Get the strip away without consuming too much boost. That way they can instantly flip the script. Look at this. Expert just takes the sky. Exactly what I'm saying. Like I'm reading the script for Sup right now. Expert has 100. Bam. Sees the opportunity. Takes the sky. Goes. Max boost is just ready for it, okay? They're being patient. They're gaining their boost. They're making sure to stay up on their resources. And then they just, bam, see the opportunity and take it.
Yeah, earlier today, I talked about how Team Silence didn't look nervous. You have to imagine they're a little more nervous now, knowing what's ahead of them. Pigeon, saved away by Matt. Resinol now, and just unable to find anything. It's a very wide rotation and one that will not work. Sup will add another one and really end this game. A reverse sweep is very much possible for Sup. And again, earlier I said Team Silence didn't look nervous. They have to be nervous now because this has been, so far, 2 straight games where they just have not had any answers for Sup.
Momentum. Honestly, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say it's all momentum. You can have a momentum stopper. It's exactly what Sup did to Team Silence back in game number 3. But right now, it feels like Team Silence is failing to get back into that groove, and Sup are just feeling groovy. I really don't know what a better way to word that right now other than that. Expert brings it over into the left side corner with the touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Sup, they're taking us all the way to game number 5. I gotta say, you know, they're hot, they're moving, they got their warm-up out of the way, and that's exactly what they're chalking game 1 and 2 up to be.
It is. By the way, while we're updating here as well, it's, again, White Room and Team Sound and Space Station Gaming on the other side. Their match hasn't ended either. They're in the at the very end of game 4. As well, and Space Station is leading. We'll update you all obviously if that match does conclude, but it does right now seem like Space Station is going to be the team that advances to the next round, the winners semifinals of this bracket. But right now for Team Silence, they're not thinking about any of that. They're thinking about how do we get this win, how do we get out of this. Now they have a good record in game 5, but that's for 3v3. This is a different mode, and this is a different Team Silence by the way they've been playing this tournament. Who knows? Right now, though, the pressure's on them. Sup look good. They look consistent. One-on-one, they just look really strong. Matter, especially, has been a problem for them in that aspect. And for Team Silence, the big issue for them, offense. They have not scored so much this series. And in the early games, it wasn't so bad because ultimately Sup made enough mistakes that Team Silence could score on that. Sup's not so nice about giving mistakes anymore. Team Silence need to make their own chances. This is the game you do it.
It's the resource management that's getting me. You know, I highlighted it right there at the end of game number 4. Sup are very patient. Look at that right there. Both of them maxed out. And you're watching an aerial play with max boost on both members of Sup. It's dangerous. Look at the opposite side. Team Silence, both of them out of boost right now. On the other side, both max boost, okay? How do you get this resource management working in your favor is going to be the big question. Pigeon takes it over to the back wall. Matt is waiting for it. Good denial. Expert strips it away, sends it deep on down over into the orange. Nice little clear, but Team Silence have the potential to turn this one right around unless Expert strips it on away and brings it right on back. Now Reznal carries over the top, meets it with Matt, brings it over into the left side corner. A little bit of a drop down right here. Pigeon, the slow, steady patience, no boost for Matt. Won't be able to convert that into a whole lot of anything. Uh-oh, a low Pigeon finds it, carries it, flip resets once. Expert waiting on the back wall, good for the clear.
A lot of flip resets this game from Team Silence. I'm surprised we're not seeing more 50-50s in front of the net here. I understand that they want to take it to the air. That's what they're comfortable in, but they've got to be willing to just set up each other a little bit better here. That play for Pigeon will not be enough to go in the net. Reznal now. Matter. Sup, nearly caught on an overcommit only moments ago. Gotta be careful here. That 50's gone the wrong direction. It won't go in the net there as Expert does have it. And you said it, full tank of boost for Sup. Consistently, they've been able to really thrive with these high boost totals. Reznal saved away. Pigeon denies the play from Matt. Reznal, he's got a lot of space. There is no one challenging right now. Expert does play that 50 really well. That is right to Matter, and you couldn't have asked for a better play there. Completely extinguishes the offense. And while Team Silence still are playing midfield, that play being shut down is really going to eventually lead to Sup getting upfield and getting their own chances on that.
Now carry on down over into the orange. Pigeon with the strip away goes for an opportunity here. Look at this airborne dribble, trying to put his body in front of the ball, but unfortunately, Expert's seen that one too many times. Reznal takes it on away from him, brings it on back to their own back wall, up into the right side corner. Matt looks for the strip away over to Expert. Almost a wide open goal opportunity. Expert and Pigeon into the 50-50. Expert and Reznal now into the 50-50. Matt takes it over to the back. Another secondary touch. This one goes high to the back a second time. Reznal gets it out of there over Expert, gets it, sends it over onto the right side. A lot of back and forth gameplay. And again, keep your eyes on the boost meters in this game. It's going to be the difference maker, I can guarantee it.
Well, it has been a difference. You said it in last game, at least part of the reason why Sup was so dominant as well. Team Silence, though, have gone through half the game without giving up a goal. Unfortunately, they haven't scored either, and their offense, while it has looked better this game, it hasn't been by enough to really make you confident in them. Pigeon, though, no play there. Reznal's got to be back. It's a good-looking chance for Sup. Reznal just gonna flip it to the back wall. An easy play for Expert. Team Silence not nearly in control right now. Expert. Oh, what a dunk there from Reznal. He can set up a play for Pigeon. But instead it will be Matter. To the back wall. To the back corner. He got rid of Pigeon. Reznal's gonna chase down Expert. He will stop any chance of a shot, and Pigeon, on a bit of an awkward respawn, will be the next one to go for this if he does, and I expect that he will. Reznal. To the back wall. 90 seconds left. One goal could be the difference maker here for Sup. A reverse sweep in the upper quarterfinals for Team Silenced. What could be Space Station Gaming waiting ahead of them here. Pigeon. Still. Back wall. It's pinched away. Nothing going on right there. Team Silence still waiting. Ooh, a awkward rotation there from Reznal. Pigeon, who keeps the play moving. One chance, maybe one mechanical play can take you far. For right now, Team Silenced, the team with all the mechanics, and yet nothing to show for it. Sup, just waiting for the opportunity.
Yeah, one chance, one shot, one opportunity, 1 minute remaining here on the clock in game number 5. It's all tied up. Expert carries it on across, immediately intercepted though, but it's a goal line stance right now for Team Silence. They found themselves on defense time and time and time again. And guess what? Sup, for the 3rd time in a row, are going to be getting the opening goal here, but this time there's only 45 seconds left on this clock, Sporty.
And Reznal, who's been so consistent this game, this series, that's a mistake you can't be making at this point on day 4 in the top 16. And now Team Silence in desperate need, and Matt's called the fake kickoff. Unfortunately, he did not call it well enough. Pigeon with 2 players in front of him. Reset again. They've been going for that every single play. It has not worked for them here in game 5, and they are in desperate need of something. Reznal, oh, he doesn't have it here. It's open for Expert if he can take it. He won't have the angle. He will have a chance off the back wall. Team Silence run into each other as well. Pigeon's got nothing. Expert to take the challenge. Pigeon lifts it up. Reznal, he's got to get by 2. Up over 1. Expert to challenge. Off the corner. Pigeon jumps in. He's got by 1. Shot for Matter. Not in the net. Pigeon keeps it alive, but Team Silence need 1 more. Flipped up for Reznal for 0 seconds. One last chance this game. Reznal cleared away by Expert. Pigeon can't get there in time. And it's a reverse sweep. Sup move on. Team Silenced are in lowers.
Sup, moving on to face off against Space Station Gaming. Team Silence knocked on down to go head to head against a White Room in the lower bracket, round number 1. I mean, talking about back and forth, and honestly, a lot of the times we're talking about how is Team Silence going to start? Is that going to be the dictating factor on this series? Team Silence, they started out real hot in this one. It felt like they had all of the control in the world, and then all of a sudden you're watching Sup get a little bit more comfortable, get a little bit more relaxed. They took a deep breath between games. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, calm, cool, collected every step of the way. And I'm going to say it again for one final time. Talk about boost control, resource management. Honestly, looking a lot better than I do in my survival craft games I play. They were able to sit there and just stay on top of the game, hold on to their boost. Great. Strip the ball away and still be at 80, 90, or 100 every single time. And that means they can turn a play around on it. And like I said, you look across the pitch, you look at your opponents, what we're seeing from Team Silence, all right? Maybe 20 to 40. And I'm not saying all the time, but, it was definitely a very noticeable thing.
Yeah, it definitely was. You said it was a noticeable thing. I think another thing to talk about for Team Silence before we go to break here and set up for our next series is that their offense really struggled at the end of this series. Their offense became very one-dimensional. Every single time they went up, they went for a flip reset, and specifically a 1v2 type flip reset, trying to play it to the back wall. That's obvious for Sup. They recognize it. And you saw by the end of this thing, they got very good at just defending that because Team Silence didn't change things up in Game 5. They didn't switch up the offense. They didn't change what they were going to do. They didn't become more bump heavy. They didn't become pass heavy. They didn't become a team that went for those, maybe went for something else up in the air, like a 50-50 challenge, like I think they could have done. They went for flip resets. And a lot of them. That's not going to work so well against a lot of teams. I think they got nervous. I think they got in their own head, started to do the same thing over and over again, what they felt most comfortable doing, and that is this flip reset type offense. They need to take this time to talk, to breathe, and to relax. This tournament isn't over. They're in lowers. They are going to have to play very well, but they've got a match coming up next. It's Team Silence and White Room. But again, just to add things off, if you want to add your own comments, I felt like their offense was too one-dimensional. If they're going to make it to top 8, if they're going to make it well into that final, if they're going to make it into that final bracket and well into that final bracket, they've got to be willing to, even under pressure, change up the offense if it isn't working. Because eventually, their offense is going to work. You got to find something new.
Yeah, number 1, momentum. Get the momentum, keep the momentum. Number 2, keep the enemy team on their toes. Like you said, you can't be doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Or I guess I would say expecting the same result. The teams at the highest level, they're going to be making those adaptations on the fly very quickly. It's going to happen mid-game within a minute. Within 30 seconds, they're going to realize exactly what you're doing. They're going to, that light bulb is going to click in their head and they're going to go, okay, cool. We know exactly how to counter this. If they're going to go for that flip reset every single time, go ahead and put that down, put our bodies in the way, deflect the ball, and then go on down with full tanks of boost. Okay, very well done, honestly, from Sup, and I'm looking forward to see exactly what they need to do. But Team Silence, how well can you manage your boost? How well can you adapt? How well can you keep the enemy team on their toes? And you don't have to do anything too extraordinary. It's just a matter of don't do the same thing every single time, I think.
Yeah, it is. I think, we saw a lot of things from them that looked promising in that series, and a lot of things that definitely they can't be reliant on as well. In terms of the promising stuff from Team Silenced, what I liked from them, they didn't look too nervous. They definitely didn't make mistakes.
Absolutely.
They made a bad mistake in Game 5. That's what ended it. But ultimately, this series was one that was very mistake-free from them. The goals that opponents are getting on them are earned goals. So if your team's Silenced, you can feel happy enough that you're not giving people goals. They're earning the goals against you, meaning that if a team's going to beat you, they're going to beat you because they're better than you. So that's one thing that Team Silence can hold on to. That's one thing that they can be happy with. Other than that, one thing I like from Team Silence as well, team chemistry, especially in the early part of the series. By the end of the series, I think they got a bit too far apart, but even by the end of the series, they still had the ability to respond to each other. If those flip reset plays did work, there's someone right there to shoot it. I mean, they're scoring on those plays if it works. So the chemistry is there, the teamwork is there. I think ultimately they hurt themselves by being a bit too one-dimensional, as you said it, not winning the boost game. Other than that, a lot of things looked good for them. I think there's a lot of good, a lot of bad for Team Silence. The nice thing is, the run's not over. They get to take on White Room up next. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to set things up. When we come back, the best of 5s continue. White Room, Team Silence, winner moves on, loser is out.
I'm a night owl. When the sun goes down, I finally come alive. Wanna live it up underneath the lights. I can hold myself, been like this my whole life. But the Gucci, I forget my 9 to 5. So hey, I'm not coming down. The music got so loud. I'm in Nirvana. So fine, I can feel it now. I'm shining in the sky. Nothing can pull me down. I'm a night all eyes on me, I'm putting on a show. I wait all week, it's time to lose control. So out of touch, I'm turning off my phone. Tell the driver that I won't be going home. So hey, I'm not coming down. The music got so loud, I'm in Nirvana. So fine, I can feel it now. I'm shining in the sky. Nothing can pull me down. I'm a night
The fire makes the city look so bright. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay while we leave. Stay with me. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me.
Welcome back to the RLCS 2026 North American Open 2v2 North American Open. Apologies there for the overlay breaking a little bit, but we're back and we've got more action against WC ZekVexol. Thank you to our sponsors in Rogue Energy and Cold Stone Creamery. Do !org to show them support and support to Team Silence as a whole. Our next matchup is only moments away, taking on White's Room. That is Swaz and Martine on that roster. And unlike the last match, there's going to be, this match is very important. Well, every match is important today, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. But this match is important for a different reason. Win and move on. Lose and you're out. So if whoever loses this, their run's over. There's no more chance to compete. So this is win or go home.
This is the all or nothing one right here. Like you mentioned, winning or go home. There is no other option. There are no other second chances, no extra lives at this point. And this is where you start to see some really interesting plays, okay? Because this is where everybody starts pulling out all the stops. And I know I mentioned it a little bit in that last series with SUP, where you're down 2-0 in the series. You don't want to get knocked on down to this lower bracket. And so, yeah, you're going to go ahead and pull out all those stops. You're going to go ahead and really try to show us something crazy. But this point right here, there is nothing left. You're done, so get it going. And look, congrats, White Room. Ended up winning.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that is again the lobby test for all of you.
104-1.
Yeah, it's something true with all the admins that they always do this. They always have a little fun with the score lines. They make it so unbelievable. But yeah, we're moments away from getting things going here. Swaz and Martine on that other side. You said it: lose and be out, win and move on. Winner of this series does get a match later. If we took a look at our bracket here and how things have gone over so far. Oh, it hasn't updated. Thank you, Liquipedia. One moment, let's refresh. There we go, now it has. Loser of this will play against the loser of Tequeños, and not really good. I'm going to be honest, those are two very good teams, so you're going to have a tough time. It's either you play against First Killer and Atomic on Tequeños, or not really good, which is Evo and Diaz. Likely it would be not really good, who we'd be playing against in that matchup, but I'm going to be honest, I don't like the look of either of those two teams, and yet, you got to beat one of those to make it through. Winner plays them, loser is out, so this is it. It's play, move on, lose, and your run is over, and, you know, Team Sounds have been in this position. They've been in this position many times before. They've been in this position in lowers many times before. You have to imagine that with the pressure as high as it is, we'll see how they perform. So again, one of the things I said so far they've done well today, they haven't looked too nervous in their matchups. But we're just about ready to begin. Overlay is wrong. That's even better. Thank you, Overlay. There we go. It's the losers. Quarterfinals. Resinal and Pigeon on the blue. White Room on the orange with Swaz and Martine. Again, Turt, by the way, that is Martine. That's just another username that he is known to go by here. And for Team Silence, at least, you have to imagine now with elimination on the line, you gotta be on your best behavior once more. And, you know, after having suffered such a devastating loss to Sub, what would have been a great win for them had they got it, they've now really got to earn their way through to the what would be the losers semifinals and take on what will be a really tough matchup. So if I'm Team Silence, even though we're not going to think about that next round, definitely in the back of my mind, I got to be thinking about how that next round is going to be really difficult. They got to make this round look easy, because if they don't, I mean, no matter who they play against, Tequeños are not really good. They're going to wipe the floor with you if you don't play against White Room well.
Ever since day number 1, match number 1, it's an uphill battle, right? You're constantly going to have to compete against better and better teams every step of the way through every single round. That was close. That was really close. I got a little bit nervous. I ain't gonna lie. Multiple times now, Pigeon does strip it away, takes it over into the orange. Swaz on the denial, and look at this deep send back and forth so far. These two teams going in the first 60. A little bit of a fake ski. Vine Pigeon does get it up over the top of Turt. Never mind, Turt gets a good touch over, sending it to the right side corner. Swaz deep clear, bringing it right on back. A nice little volley action going on, I would say.
Yeah, nice little volley, infield pass. Pigeon is up for it, will not get the shot there. And for both these teams, a very simple game one, not trying too much. But again, one thing I want to see for Team Silence in this game, in this series, again, one of the issues they had last series, they became very reliant on going for flip resets. I want to see adjustments. I want to see change-ups. Stuff like this is going to really work. The infield passing, you know, being able to show that you can do a lot more than just flip resets on offense, that's going to be huge for Team Silence. It's going to be something that they want to look for here. And it's something that if they can execute well on, not only does that tell me that they're comfortable and they're, you know, in good position, they got both players upfield, but it also tells me they're able to mix things up. That's something that they need to do, and so far they've done it well. The flip resets, the mechanics will get them the goal here, but those infield passing means that White Room's got to consider a lot more options that Team Silence have.
Look at Pigeons there. A nice little flip reset. Good control with the ball, not letting it loose, go too far away from him, not losing it, and then, bam, pinch on down over to Resno, put the ball into the net. Now, it didn't come as fast as it did in the last series, but it came nonetheless. Team Silence are on the board first. They have the lead, and that's step 1 on the momentum train. Start climbing that mountain. Team Silence are on the rise, on their way up. Just get the ball out of the blue, get it down over to the opposite side, and be in a little bit better comfortable position so we can talk about this a little bit nicer. Turt takes shot over onto the near side, but hits the sidewall instead. Now Pigeon bringing it right on back. Nice slow carry. Oh, wow, look at the flow. Swaz, though, does end up getting towards that near side, flicks it off the back wall. Nice going for it, bringing it on down, stripped away by Resno. Turt beats it at the 50 line, popped right back on up, goes for a secondary touch. Beats Pigeon, gets it over the top of him. This one's going to be a slow pickup here. Resno now going to get Team Silenced on a little bit of offense.
It is only one goal this game. Team Silence have not exactly been a high-scoring game today, and a high-scoring team today. That's for certain. Even in last series, they didn't have that many goals in any of their games. So really, this is a lot of pressure on their defense to perform well, and might be a bit too much pressure. Resno's out of position, and in goes Swaz for the answer. Team Silence got a bit overconfident, and it's Resno who I don't know if he just thought that Swaz wasn't going to recognize that he didn't have boost there, but Swaz can see what Resno's doing. He knows Resno's not moving all that fast, and he has no problem popping it to the back wall, at least testing him and seeing if he's there. And even if he is there, he's still in a position that he can at least challenge, so it's just a poor decision from Resno. And again, he's been a consistent player today, but putting all that pressure on your defense, even a player as good as Resno is going to have a tough time being able to keep you perfect. And Team Silence, again, offensively, they've been not as successful as they want to be, that's for certain. Their defense had to do a lot of work. It's done actually quite well today. It's their offense that's going to win them this series and decide if they are to see any more of this tournament.
Nice little send over. Swaz takes it up to the back wall. Resno does end up meeting it and brings it over onto the left side. Turt waiting, lurking in the waters, strips it away, gets into the 1v1 with Pigeon. Flip reset to the back for the drop on down. Swaz brings it on through. isn't able to get it. And I'm gonna highlight real quick something we've been seeing from White Room so far, and something we definitely saw in the last matchup for SUP and throughout all of the 3v3 split as well. If Team Silence is cheating up, getting aggressive, getting very in your face, an enemy team likes to sit there and read that and capitalize on it. And we just saw that happen for White Room's first goal here in game number 1. Final 60, time taking its way on down. Pigeon denies, drops it on over into the goalie box for the Orange. White Room popping it on up over, bringing it right on back. Swaz takes the shot and just blocks Pigeon on out of there, boxes him on out, and puts the ball into the net. White Room, they've taken the lead.
Yeah, Resnal got real nervous seeing Turt jump for that early play. He was expecting a shot from Turt in that position. He just doesn't make the touch good enough to help him out there because he leaves his teammate 2-on-1 against, and yeah, you're not going to win in that position very often. Team Silence now under a lot of pressure here in game 1. Reminders, elimination on the line here as it's going to be Swaz looking for the net. It's Arsenal who will get there. 30 seconds to go. Keeps it away. Heavy first touch. He's waiting as he does get the bump on Turt. Swaz to Pigeon. Reset to take. Needing a goal. He will not hit the back post there, but he will take the boost away. Low totals for White Room. In fact, nothing in the totals for White Room for a moment. Pigeon. Oh my! Wow. What a play for Pigeon! Musty flick into the net. Unbelievable skill.
Man, just Thanos coming on in here, purple car to boot, and says, fine, I'll do it myself. Just carries it across from the corner, and like you said, Musty flicks it right in, pinches it right into that tiny little gap. I mean, we said it in the last series, all you need is that one ball's width, and Pigeon ended up finding it all tied up here, but a little bit close to Team Silence goal, a little bit too close for comfort. Pigeon with the pickup here. 0-second game. Aerial play intercepted by Turt, keeping the ball live over into the right side corner. Sees Swaz the drop on down. It touches down, and we are in overtime for the first time today.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen overtime yet in any of these matchups. We'll see it here, and we'll see who can get the early series lead. White Room have slowly but surely been able to encroach on the Team Silence territory. Team Silence, again, just saved by a late goal from Pigeon, and a really great-looking late goal. But, well, that isn't likely to be repeatable here for Team Silence. They're going to need to find a way to get everybody involved on offense and not rely on Pigeon doing that again, because as much as we love to see that from Pigeon, that's not going to win you games, it's not going to win you tournaments, and it's definitely not going to get you to the World Championship. Team Silence are going to need a little bit more and a little bit of support. Pigeon trying to flip reset will be Swaz to clear. Up is Resnal. Well, at least it would have been Resnal. He's in real trouble here, but so too is Swaz. In fact, he's gone. Pigeon's going to take him away, and he'll go up again. Another cross-map aerial play. Flip reset again. This one actually doesn't work for Pigeon. It doesn't matter. It's going to go in anyways. Somehow for Pigeon, being trashed at a flip reset actually works for him.
Pigeon being trash, just picking up scraps here right now. Look at that. Just Turret goes one way, Swaz goes the other, and Pigeon goes, oh, ball's in front of the net. Yeah, you know what? That's good enough. Go ahead, put it on in. Team Silence, they're going to take game number 1. I definitely want to say, Team Silence, there you go. You got one back. Now, how do you clean it up from there? How do you look a little bit more together, I want to say? And I do think that's the big takeaway for me throughout the end of that last series into the start of this one. How can we get Pigeon and Resnal to be on the same page a little bit more? We're seeing kind of two individual play styles, two individuals moving around the map. Where's that team play? Those infield passes that, you know, the plays, and I'm talking about bringing the ball on up, going for the demo with the other. We've seen a lot of these other teams pull that out already today. Let's see it again from Team Silence.
Did it as well. If Team Silence can somehow work together like we saw earlier today, it's one of the things I commented on from them, was that they were able to work together. And when they did, it was really, really consistent from them. The problem is, they have not been able to do that as often as they would like to. And you're seeing teams recognize that as, oh, a bit of an overput there from White Room. Not have a goal against, but that could have been a lot worse. Pigeon is up for it. He will read the play from Turt. Looking for Resnal. He'll get by. Open-netted Pigeon can take it. He will not be there fast enough. Turt there for Resnal. Second touch. Surely it is. That's Pigeon who didn't have boost. He was still looking to grab a couple, and he's going to really want that play. It's a tough position. Pigeon really couldn't score from that part, and boy, he's going to be unhappy. But a good start for Team Silence. That aggression, that in-your-face playstyle you've been talking about, more of that, and more of what you're going to see there, except unlike what you saw there, it's going to go in the net eventually.
That and what? Resource management, resource management, resource management. Look at that right there until Pigeon just picked up that boost. Look at Resnal still 0, still at 0, still at 0, still at 0. Now got to 12. Where's the boost? This is what we're looking for. Still at 0 again. Swaz ends up getting the demo on a Pigeon. Resnal doesn't have any boost to contest. Ball goes into the net. Just like that, White Room, they end up taking the lead.
Yeah, and Resno really needed more from Pigeon on that play, because he as you said, he doesn't have any boost. He went right back to the net, and the way he went to net is he went straight back to net, because he's looking for that double tap, so he had an idea that Pigeon wasn't going to get that read up the back wall so easily, and he needed more from him there as a fake kickoff for White Room. Looking to take the lead, and we saw this last series. Team Silence get off to an early start and fall flat, and it might happen again here, except even faster this time. 2 goals, both from Turt, and Team Silenced now under the pressure of if they can respond, or if we see what we saw in the upper quarterfinals repeat itself, because history so often repeats itself in Rocket League, and it's a cruel, cruel fate to have it happen, and yet history, again, often does repeat itself, often does show up again and again. Time and time again, you see the same storylines, and for Team Silenced, that storyline, at least from Series 1, was being unable to close things out after a really good start. I would hate to see that happen again in this series. We're starting to see the start of what could be a repeat.
Not counting them out just yet. White Room, nice 2-goal lead here in game number 2. Is it going to be enough, though? Resnal with the pop over towards the goal. Turt is waiting back, playing goalie. Now with the solo carry on down. Challenges Pigeon in the 1v1, but I think got a little bit of a too early pop. Gets sent back towards the goal by Swaz, but unfortunately, that one went a little bit wide. Turt bringing it right on back. Pigeon back again also for the save. Resnal looking to clear it out. Finally, hopefully, Pigeon gets it past one, but can't get it past the second. Good 50-line play here by Turt. Swaz over the top to the backboard. Pigeon pops it on up. Swaz finds himself inside of the goal. Now Pigeon off the money. A little bit of a fake, maybe a little bit of a just get this one under control. So far, every time Team Silence is going for the ball, they are instantly getting contested by their opponent. Look at this. Pigeon wants to go for it. Pop fly on up over on at the side wall. Resnal's thinking about it instantly. Turt's right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, White Room doing a good job. And one of the things that they're also doing well, whenever Team Silence on the ball, they are good at bumping out the Team Silence players when they're on the ball. It's wanting to win the ball, but what their first player is doing so well is they're just bumping the player. They're removing any chance that they can keep playing. You don't necessarily need to get the ball if you're the first one challenging. You just need to get something on that play. Force them out of position. White Room knows that well. They're going for the player. They don't need to win the ball. They're just getting the player, getting the play to shut down. And as you said, going from there, off the corner. Swaz. It could be for Turt. He's actually not going to go on this. And oh, that's a beautiful read. Pigeon, who's gone for the air a couple times, starting to get red a little bit more easily here. Swaz on 1. Resnal will get the block. He will also get the boost here and the ball. Although he's taken away from the field, Team Silence will at least escape defense for now, but it's not defense that's the issue for them, it's offense. They haven't scored yet this game, and even last game, we talked about the offense being a problem for them. This game, it's only gotten worse in White Room. Well, they're just continuing with the Team Silence team right now that has not been threatening enough, has not shown their fangs. 80 seconds left, Team Silence running out of time if they are to go up 2-0 in the series.
A bit of a back and forth play here. Swaz does send it over to the back wall, goes for the secondary touch. Turt not wanting to cheat on up, and for good reason too. Pigeon Resnal bringing this one right on back towards there, and Turt is able to get to the back wall, play that denial. Pigeon though into the 1v1 again. Swaz good for the clear. Resnal goes for the secondary, denied by Turt. What was going to be a hopeful 1 goal on the board for Team Silence instantly gets shut on down, and now they're back on defense. They can't even get off their half of the pitch, what it feels like for the majority of this game. 45 seconds now, up into the right side corner. White Room is on the go for the shot from Pigeon, but Turt there once more for the save.
Yeah, great defense from Turt, and really good job at not overcomplicating things. Just get there and get the block and get the ball away from danger. That an extra touch for Pigeon won't go far, and White Room have done a great job at the end of this game. They know Team Silence are aggressive, and they've been over-aggressive. They've defended them well. They'll get the goals results, and Team Silence, their lead on the series, it's over in the next 24 seconds. White Room has defended their offense, and again, a lot of the same things we saw earlier from Sup happening here as well with White Room. Team Silence becoming a bit too one-dimensional on offense, a bit too mechanically focused, not able to get the passes or the demos or anything that can allow both players to be upfield. And another thing that's also starting to happen, boost control. That's the big thing we talked about last series. It's happening again. White Room are, while they struggled earlier with boost totals, by the end of this game, you're seeing Team Silence typically run lower on boost, typically run very low when they're getting to offense on boost, and that's a problem.
Final pick on and down of the clock with the touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. White Room going to be walking away with game number 2, tying this series right on up. It's 0-0. We got a best of 3 now ahead of us, essentially. Not bad, but gotta see the turnaround now from Team Silenced. How well can they sit there, get the ball off their half of the pitch? I mean, they've been doing good. Look at that, 50-50, a really flat line 50-50 ball possession, but what side of the pitch we're playing on is the big difference maker. A lot of that time, we're over on Team Silence half of the pitch, okay? They're fighting defensively. They're inside their goal. They're doing their best to keep this one off the back wall, having to commit multi-man to make sure that that one doesn't get sent on into the net. The onslaught is good when it's there from White Room. Now it's just about how can we get the ball off? How do we find the gaps? How do we break this team apart the way that they're trying to break us apart? Because when we remember back in game number 1, even when Team Silence was getting aggressive, when they were getting very much in their face and they had that lead and they were able to walk away with it, White Room found an opening and capitalized on it. And I would say a 6-second goal here in game number 3 is an opening capitalized on.
Absolutely, as you said. An opening that capitalized on. White Room starting to take control, and Team Silenced, momentum's against them. The game is against them. White Room is against them. And the series right now feels like it's against them. They've got time to recover, but the longer this takes, the worse it gets, and Turt's gonna make it even worse. Turt has been on a roll so far, ever since game 1, where he looked a bit sluggish. Game 2, game 3, you said a switch flipped, White Room looks better, and the big reason, Turt. He's just consistent. He's like a machine. Dude knows when the net's open, and if the net is open, he scores it.
I guarantee her name White Room. You much of an anime person?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You are, though.
Yeah, I am. And for the knowers, you know, Classroom of the Elite, you know, this is one that's releasing this season, actually, in their 4th season. So White Room is definitely a big thing, and you got people in there who are very skilled and very understanding and very much able to, as we were saying, flip the switch. So they're kind of, you know, playing to the lore of the name right now. Resnal pops up, looking for a little bit of that offensive play, and every time, look at this, Turt is just kind of there. Resnal finally goes for it, puts it on into the net, though. First time since game number 1, Team Silence, they're on the board.
Yeah, it is. A little bit of an awkward looking play. It's just Swaz and Turt both sitting flat-footed. When you're sitting flat-footed like that, whatever touch you're gonna make, you're not gonna get a lot of power on it. So they need to, so White Room in that position, they need to control it. They have to go for 50-50, because their clear isn't gonna go anywhere. They're not moving. Means they're not going to get any power on that touch, and White Room, they went for the clear. It didn't pay off, and you saw it, and the ensuing chaos will be Team Silence, and now they look for the tie it. Resnal, this one is just pinched out. What a great play from Swaz. Pigeon will go back. He'll play this one on Turt to the corner with the boost. With Resnal waiting, it's Pigeon with the ball, and Resnal's gonna be right behind him here. Another full map dribble, flip reset, second touch, Turt's on it, but he won't get through! Resnal! Tie game!
Secondary follow-up by Resnal just makes his way on through. Look at this, Pigeon, just aerial dominance as per usual. Turt on the defense as per usual, but this time Resnal was there for the follow-up. Put the ball on in. It's all tied up in the series. It's all tied up in the game, and suddenly that little bit of pressure that White Room had right off the rip is eased on down. You got 2 and 15, really nice, but we're about to get a third one. 1, 2, 3 goal swing for Team Silenced.
I see, ZekVexol, you've gone to Sesame Street.
Yeah, you know,
You've met the counts. Yeah, there you go.
3's the magic number, man.
Yeah,
What can
3
I say?
absolutely. That I think that's Schoolhouse Rock. But anyways, we got.
Yeah, it is. Look at that.
People are realizing just how
yourself.
people are now realizing just how old we both are. Anyways,
Don't say that.
I'm not even that old. It's just that's the stuff I watched as a kid. My parents watched it when they were kids. Turt's gonna score here and tie things up. He's got a hat trick this game. Sorry, he's got 2 goals. He doesn't have a hat trick this game. You know, that's how good he is. I thought he had a hat trick. That's how solid he's been. White Room's got a hat trick, but Turt's, he's got 2 goals on 2 shots. He has been clinical so far, and the big problem for Team Silence is that if that net's open and Turt's on the ball, Turt's scoring. So that's the problem that they're facing right now. 3.5 minutes to go, and what has been so far our highest scoring game of the day, which is saying something for Team Silence. And there's still a lot of time to go, still at least one more goal, but let's be realistic. I'm expecting this, we're not going to leave this game without at least a few goals from both these teams.
Number one, essentially you're saying if Turt's not on defense, he's scoring. You know, if this guy's
Fair
able
enough.
to get out from playing in the net, he's scoring. Now, somebody who does have a hat trick +1, I can definitely highlight. Resnal over here finds the 4th one for Team Silence and the 4th one for himself. 7 shots, 4 goals converted, gained the lead right on back. Little over 3 minutes remaining there on the clock. So Team Silence, get the ball down onto the other side. You know, I'm feeling like we're saying a lot of the same stuff because it's just a matter of that repetition. And then, you know, sure, on paper, it's get the ball down on the other side of the net, don't get scored on. Real simple. It's how you do it, though, that Team Silence is fully capable of pulling out.
Yeah, you said it as well. Good amount of moving around as well offensively. They have not gone for the same thing over and over again. While a lot of the goals have still been mechanical plays, they set things up. Again, they're able to mix things up. They're able to do a little bit more than just that. White Room, though, only needs 1, and you gotta watch out for Turk, the guy that would be the one to do it, you would feel. Silenced. Their eye on him, and now they're gonna put the ball down towards the net, not going to go in. They're on low boost, though. And we've seen White Room clear the ball quite consistently in this thing. Whenever they're on low boost, they really just clear the ball away. That's something that if Team Silence can win on boost, which they haven't so far today, but if they can win on boost, White Room, when they're under that boost pressure, they clear the ball a lot. Something that Team Silence, at least, if they're, again, able to hold consistent long-term offense, that's going to really favor them and the way that they want to play.
Yeah, Sub definitely is not controlling their boost. I'm sorry, not Sub. White Room is definitely not controlling their boost the same way that Sub was, and it's very noticeable. I mean, just take a look at right now, 6 and 60. Those would have been 80, 90, 100s if it was Sub. Let's be entirely honest. Team Silence, Resnal is playing a little bit better on that boost control, just chilling up there. I mean, one of the people who I highlighted this series alone, like, hey, where's your boost at? What are you doing? And got scored on top of it too as it was getting called out. Found himself in a difficult position where he wasn't able to go for a boost. Pigeon ended up getting demoed and the ball ended up going into the net as a result. And it's all these little things that add up to the end result of a goal, a game loss, a serious loss at the end of the day. Team Silenced, get yourselves off defense, maintain that boost control, maybe get yourself another score if the opportunity arises, win the opportunity arises, and lock in game number 3.
It is 5-3 now, 1 minute and a second to go. This is match point we're talking about right now. The winner of this can take the series and stay in the bracket through 4 games. And again, they would get 2 chances to win as well, so a big swing here. Also just momentum. I mean, this series has been back and forth, and so momentum, any sort of momentum, you know, while it won't be as much of a difference as we saw last series, it still matters, and this is a big momentum push for Team Silence, especially considering how many goals they've had. 5 goals, the most they've had of any game so far today. Their offense has been their problem so far, and they know it. I think that it's been an issue for them. So I said they haven't been able to score score that much. This game, though, has been very different. They have been successful. Things are working. And as long as they're able to hold down White Room for the last couple moments, which we've seen comebacks in this amount of time before. I've seen 2v2 comebacks this amount of time before. But if they're able to hold down White Room, they're going to feel very happy because this game was one that was won by their offense. And considering how bad their offense has been, any game that's won by the Team Silence offense, it's going to be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I've seen 4 goals in 7 seconds. You got to be careful because look at this Pigeon bringing it on, looking for the 3rd one up, unable to find it. I mean, I definitely understand, Pigeon. You've been doing a lot of great setup. You've been putting the ball in the right spot, and Resnal's been just stealing all the goals from you this entire match. 5 goals for Resnal. Very well deserved. Team Silence, though, they're going to be taking us on to a match point scenario. Win this, move on into the lower quarterfinals to face off against the loser of Not Really Good and Tequeños. So it's going to be a difficult one. Yeah, honestly, you want to take it one step at a time. You don't want to be looking forward into your next match, but you can utilize this matchup to prepare yourself for that one as that stepping stone. Remember, it's only going to be getting harder every single match, every step of the way, every single round, every single game. This next game included, game number 4 of this lower quarterfinals included.
Moments away from Game 4, and for Team Silence, they've been here once before today. They couldn't close it out then. Can they close it out here? Team Silenced, the chance to take the series, and again, I think that last game was the best it's the best their offense has looked all day. 5 goals to speak of here. That's something that you'll want to be reliant on continuing. Flips for Pigeon. We'll get the demo as well. I don't know if it was necessarily trying for that play, but it will favor Resinol. One-on-one with Swaz. Not enough boost to work. Turret will clear. And Team Silence will hold this ball back for now, but... Bumps, demos. We haven't seen a lot of it from Team Silence. They're not really a team that's known for their bumps and demos. We've seen a lot of teams do it against them. I know you love your bumps and demos as well. You're going to love that play from Turret too with a flip reset over Team Silenced. 4:30 left to go. White Room with a consistent play, and again, still the problem. It's Turret. He's been a problem all series. He continues to. And again, if that net is left open for him, he scores.
Turt's not on defense, he's scoring, right? That's like really it at the end of the day. And yes, I love my bumps and demos. I honestly love that aggressive meta style. Get very much in their face. And I mean, granted, I come from a lot of the more fighting style games, you know, abilities and guns and FPSs. So that's kind of my entire history. So yeah, I like seeing people blow up. I like the explosions. Get in there, blow some people up, put the ball in the net, get a goal explosion on top of it too. And maybe Team Silence, you can tie this game on up, take the lead on it, close it on down, and find yourself into the next round. Resinol on the defense, chilling on back. I did get one of those demos right there. A little bit of back and forth here from one corner over to the other. Pigeon into the challenge against Swaz. Ends up winning that one and brings it over on the left side. Corner picked up by Resinol. Goes for the aerial. Turret strips it away though. Over to the right side. Another demo. This one by Swaz onto Resinol with the pickup of the ball. Resinol on the respawn. Goes into the same corner with Pigeon. Ends up meeting him. Gets past one. Goes for the second, but this one gets pinched over on the left side. Team Silence, they're trapped right now. Trapped from their goalie box to their corner. Looking for an offensive push right here. Pigeon wants it. Can he get it? Resinol's got the follow-up. Team Silence tie it on up.
Well, if you need a player to be clutch, it's been Pigeon, and it almost always seems to be Pigeon who can do this at any point in time. To Resinol, to the Nets, and Team Silence now, again, rotationally, if they're able to both go up, good things happen because they can get those second shots. White Room had a lot of offense inside of this game, but not a whole lot of success. That's going to feel very good because after what we've seen so far, a tie game, that is a win for Team Silence with how much abuse they've had to face from White Room. But a win is also a win. They still need another goal here. There's time to do it. 3 minutes left, but 3 minutes is a whole lot of time in 2v2. Last game will tell you as such. And Team Silence still needing something. Pigeon! Oh my! It's open for Resinol! Pigeon's done it again! White Room can't handle him!
Yeah, Turret all the way downfield, Pigeon into the 1v1 with Swaz, and Swaz does a good job, does the best that he could. Unfortunately, it's not a 1v1, it's a 2v1. Resinol is here for the follow-up again, gets his second one, and honestly, I'm gonna say his 7th in a row. All last game, all game number 3, it was Resinol every step of the way, and you know what? I'm also going to say every time this series, it's been Turret for White Room. So Turret ends up tying it right back on and up and giving them the Uno reverse card, anyways, you know, what else you got?
I don't know if I have anything else to do. You kind of stole the words I would have used. Maybe nope.
Nope. Yeah, that's a good one.
And that's more of a
my trap card.
That's more. Yeah, I mean, that's more of a defensive thing, at least.
Yeah.
But we are halfway through this game. Team Silenced, at least. They're looking for something more. They have not been able to manage a very large lead, unlike last game. And even last game, they didn't get their large lead until late when White Room sort of was forced to go all in on attack. Team Silenced. Time could become an issue here very soon for them here. And for a team that's this close, I mean, they're not against that. They're used to this. They can play close. But you know that they're not going to feel comfortable with a game that is within a 1 or even 2 goal difference here. As they'll play it up. Swaz, too slow there from Resinol. And Pigeon is airborne for this. Resinol will keep it in. That was very aggressive for Team Silence. It doesn't really work to keep the offense. It does keep the ball in this half of the field, so at least they'll have boost control for the time being. But White Room is able to handle things for now. Pigeon. Not a good first touch. Dunked away by White Room. We'll go to the back corner. Resinol. High pop-up touch. He does have Pigeon. He's going to leave it for him, too. Oh, but he's not fast enough. He backed up on the play. Now still waiting. Still hopeful. Still taking their time. It's tied, but again, not much time to go. If a goal goes in, you have to imagine that that goal is almost certainly going to propel you to victory. It would be unlikely that a goal at this point in the game would not result in at least an overtime.
Overtime. You want to get your second overtime. Swaz wants to get his dub, though. He wants to take this to game number 5. Not have to worry about it. Turt on the pop-up. Resnal on the back wall. Follow up by Swaz. Pigeon able to get back in time. The 1v1. The 1v2. The pin shot up into the right side corner. Followed up by Turt. The aerial carry. Goes for the flip reset. Brings it on over to Swaz. Doesn't get a good angle on it, though. Sends it wide to the side. Pigeon, is this opportunity? Denial by Swaz. Reset by White Room. Looking for a little bit more pressure. 30 seconds now. Time running on down. Is this an open goal opportunity, though? Pigeon sends it deep over into their own corner. Full reset of play, and there may be time for one more play from either team.
Yeah, I mean, Team Silence is looking for Pigeon to be the setup guy. He has done a good job at being able to 1v2 White Room in positions, and he'll have the ball here. Only one back is Turt. It's Pigeon. Not able to get the dunk on Turt. It goes the other way. White Room with the last chance in regulation. It's Turt. Reset. Easily cleared out by Resnal, and Swaz is not going to let this game continue in regulation. It's a second overtime in this series, and for Team Silenced, 1 goal sends you to the lower semifinals, sends you to the qualification round. For White Room, 1 goal sends us all to Game 5, and Team Silenced, they're gonna go to Game 5! It's an ending play here from Swaz, and for Team Silenced now 2 matches in a row, unable to close things out in Game 4, and you have to imagine the nerves are right back up again.
I gotta look at it when you're in this scenario. I mean, you can see exactly why White Room dropped that ball. They're confident on their kickoffs, and for good reason too. Swaz just carries it right across right there, right off the rip, puts it on into the net. No T. We didn't even really get an overtime. We're going to Game 5 for the second time in a row now to determine who's moving on, who's going home. Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this right now. Game 5 here in the lower round 1. Who is moving on into that lower quarterfinals? You lose here, best of 1. That's it. You're done. Your whole run is dusted. You win here, though. You keep alive. You live to fight another round. You know, same day, different round.
Did it as well. Same day, different round. And with this being the only 2v2 event as well, there's a lot that is kind of put on you to perform in the moment. You know, unlike Fable 3, we have that next event. You have more events. You have 6 of them all year, and then the LCQ. You only get 1 2v2 event to perform in. And for Team Silence now, it's Game 5 again against White Room. Winner moves on. Loser is eliminated. Well, that's happening, by the way. Again, we're talking about the loser of Tequeños and Not Really Good. That match right now, I believe, might also be going to Game 5. So that series, I think, is still underway, and White Room, Team Silence winner, plays against the loser of that thing. White Room off to a good start, 16 seconds in, and for Team Silence now, a little over 4.5 minutes now to decide if they are to stay in or if this is the end of Team Silenced.
First one on the board, White Room, and it's Swaz to end up finding that one. White Room have taken the lead. At Team Silence, they need to get out of this funk, man. They just gotta find that opportunity to play like a team, and we saw some great moments of that. Well, I'm talking about just Pigeon. I don't know if it was intentionally or unintentionally going for the play and Resnal just reading it from behind. Either way, the ball was red, the play was red, the field was red, and everything was just in the right spot. Pigeon had to set up, Resnal had the follow-ups. 7 times in a row we highlighted across games 2 and game 3. What do you do from there? How do you build off that? How do you go for more defined intentional pass play? This is where I'll be intentional, I ain't even gonna lie. Pigeon goes for it in the 1v1, and those are gonna get denied every time.
Yeah, the important part about going for those 1v1s is not scoring, it's about setting up a play to score. And that's what you need to look for if you're Pigeon, being the guy who's been the one to set up these plays. It's okay to go one-on-one, but you gotta set up for, something for your teammate behind you. And Resnal, if you're Resnal, you gotta be there so that Pigeon can have an easier job, that he doesn't need to score. In fact, he could score here, double tap, too high. Resnal, Pigeon, he'll flick it up over the back wall. Should be an easy play for Turt, and it will be. Resnal not willing to overcommit, will be for Pigeon. Resnal very high up right now for Team Silence. Unfortunately, they're not in a spot that they really want to be in. They want to be in front of the net, not in front of the corner. This one, cleared away. Resnal, he's gotta be careful here. One touch. He got Turt beat. He's got Swaz waiting. I'm just gonna have this clear. that'll at least get rid of offense of Team Silence, but this is a good look for Team Silence. Both players upfield, winning challenges. The problem, though, is they didn't score on that play. Time ticking away, 3 minutes left, and again, a high-pressure scenario, knowing what's at stake for both these teams, knowing what's at stake in your tournament! Big shot for Resinol! A huge infield pass!
Big shot necessary, just necessary shot right there. If you miss this one, when are you going to get another opportunity? That is an open goal, mile wide right there. The hardest shot to take in Rocket League, and Resinol ended up landing it. Real great stuff, real necessary stuff. Team Silence have tied things on up here in game number 5. Now Pigeon, aerial play after the kickoff, goes to force his way on through. Swaz does a great job stopping that one, and it's the demo onto Pigeon as well. Swaz doubles back, denies Resinol any sort of advances he's trying to make, and actually challenges Pigeon in the 1v1 as well. Turt chilling, lurking. You got to be careful with this guy. He's playing the shadow defense very nicely so that he can get back for those defensive plays, and so he can keep an eye on when to strike. Turt's obviously the strike guy here.
I mean, both these players can score. That's the scary thing. I mean, Swaz was the one that had the overtime winner in Game 4, but I do agree, Turt, if he can get on the ball, he is a real threat. So far, though, hasn't really had that many opportunities. It's been a lot of Swaz sort of wanting to do it himself here. Turt will get his chance, and he will put this one in. And you know what's the real irony on that play? The real sad thing for Team Silenced? Resinol had that one, I believe. No, he didn't. Pigeon had that one. Pigeon was in the net. He had that save. Resinol jumped up and cut him off. It's a tough position, because if you're Resinol there, you really should go. It's really tough to know if Pigeon's ready for that. But again, Turt's on the ball. He gets the goal, and for what we've seen in this game, a lot of the reason why he hasn't had that many chances, because, again, Swaz has really wanted to get the offense started. He's been the one that's wanted to sit up higher up on the field. But Turt, you said it, he's the threat. Resinol's the threat! It's Team Silenced again, and it's the same thing over and over again. And, you know, well, last series it became one-dimensional. This one, the difference is, look at how confident Resinol is. He's up for it. Unlike against Sup, where you have only one player going for the offense, you've got this guy behind you that can support and score, and Resinol's doing that. He has scored so many goals this series, and while a lot of it has been just open nets, that's something that we didn't see from him in their last Game 5.
Resinol's doing a really good job in this series, I can definitely say, of just reading the field or seeing what's going on and just having good ball knowledge, you know? This guy knows ball at the end of the day. He's keeping his eye on it. He's keeping his eye on his opponents, and he's able to get that read down. Someone who's really looking for the big picture, and that's exactly what you're looking for on your strike man, the one who's chilling behind. By all means, Pigeon has insane mechanical skill, but Resinol's chilling, he's watching, he's seeing, okay, if Pigeon does not hit this, where's that ball going to bounce to? In a physics-based game, how is it going to hit off the wall? How is it going to be hitting off these cars? Clearly did very well in his geometry class because he's doing pretty good. We're getting down to the final 60, though.
Yeah, we are, and it's getting real dicey here because, well, I love these moments. I know these players don't, knowing that, you know, that you're in a position like this, that you have not been able to be dominant in Game 5. Pressure's on. Resinol, not a great first touch. That is going to be straight to Turt, who does hold. Resinol, not there. Turt on Pigeon. Reset. Oh, Pigeon missed it. He didn't get the save. Turt was going for the bump. I still think Pigeon had him there, but he just didn't have the read. He was far too high under the ball and not on an angle to it, meaning he can't actually jump for that so easily because Turt's right above him. And it's a goal for White Room. Turt, the boogeyman of Team Silenced, and what could be the goal that ends Team Silenced.
Turt just finds opportunity. If he's not on defense, if he's not blocking every single shot, he's taking them and making them. Pigeon and Resinol, wombo combo off the backboard. They're still alive, but they're barely breathing. It's 3-3 with 20 seconds left off the clock. What a follow-up play.
You said it. They're still breathing. They're still in it. And they need another goal here if they are to take the series in Game 5. It's Turt with the ball once again, and everybody on Team Silence on high alert. No one is looking to give him any room to work. Here goes Resinol again. He's scored the goals so far that have been for Team Silenced. He'll leave it for Pigeon. Challenge taken. Not won, though, by Team Silenced, and here goes Swaz on one. Doesn't have that boost. He'll still have the hook shot. Saved by Resinol. It's Pigeon who keeps it air. and he will end it there. Overtime in Game 5. One goal sends you to lower semifinals and eliminates the other. This is it. Tournament on the line.
Unbelievably, like, nail biter, cheek clencher, sitting on the edge of my seat at that last final moment. I'm not gonna lie, that one was very, very close. Pigeon with the setup here. Resnal chilling behind, not gonna get anything too good off this. Swaz now with the pickup. Where is Turt? Where's he watching from? Where's the shadow play coming from? Pigeon picks it up from the corner. Turt sends it right on back. It's a bounce over towards the center. Resnal now ends up meeting it. He's got enough boost to bring it on down. Challenge in the 1v1. Swaz wins that 50 though. Goes for a secondary touch. Now with plenty of boost. Here comes Turt to the back. Resnal meets it in the air and sends it right back down. Pigeon 1v1 against Turt. Denial. Resnal follow up. Can't get a good angle. Goes for a secondary touch, but Turt is there.
And Team Silence still waiting, but you can tell they are not willing to take nearly the same amount of risks as they did before. Still they're waiting, and you said a Turt has not been active so far. Resonal, the demo! It's over right there! Team Silence still in the top 16!
All right, everybody, all at once, deep breath. A deep breath in, deep breath out. Team Silence have done it! 1 minute 6 seconds into overtime here in game number 5. They're moving on into the lower quarterfinals. They're continuing their run. Wow, what a close one right there at the end. Absolutely unbelievable. And look at that, another 50-50 down the line ball possession game. The ball was moving back and forth between these two teams so frequently, but it was a matter of what side of the pitch we were really playing on. That was the big difference maker here.
It was, and so much of that game was on the side of the White Room players, and when you're playing that much defense, it's only a matter of time before it comes back to bite you. Team Silence now 2 straight game 5s today. They have not exactly escaped these series unscathed, but they are still in it, and they've got one more round to go, and we do have an update for you all on the bracket here as well. I believe Tequeños lost their match, so we've got a match with First Killer and Atomic here in the lower bracket semifinals. You know, talk about tough draws here. Tequeños may be one of the teams here that you don't want to go up against.
They're a bunch of nobodies. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I've never seen Tequeños on the pro stage. Let's be honest here. You know, just saying, you know, they haven't been up there. This is going to be difficult. We said it. Every single round, every single game, every single day, every single split, every single year, etc., etc., etc. You need to make sure you are raising the dial. Congratulations, Team Silence. You're able to kind of get in a good little rhythm there. You came out swinging so far here today. You did a great job. You kind of hit down a little bit, not going to lie. Then you're sitting here in this series, and you had us doing one of these. Yeah, here, let me get in front of my camera so I can actually get a lot of up and back, a lot of a roller coaster right there. And it was very much a roller coaster of emotions. But the big difference maker is we're starting to see a little bit of something here in this series, right? Pigeon going for these aggressive mechanical shots, and Resnal doing the lurk play, being the shark in the pitch.
Yeah, like we said, a shark in the pitch. What a big game for Resonal. What a big series for Resonal as well. I think that's the difference maker for what we saw the series before and the series now, because it's the same offense. I'm going to tell you, their offense didn't change at all from series to series. What did change? Resonal's positioning. He was a lot more confident this series, and he got a lot more goals for his efforts. So good on him. Absolutely what you want to see if you are here. Now, we're going to go to a break to set things up. When we come back, Team Silence take on Tequeños. In the last match of the day, it's top 8 or nothing. We'll see you then.
I've seen enough things to lose hope, and here I am still going. I am even stronger now. Evil is lurking around you, and maybe I'm mistaken. You know I'm feeling right, like something on my face, something in my veins still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. The more that I've done, the less I've become. I just live forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on. And then we'll become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all. Nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then we'll become just nothing at all. We've seen all the way to ourselves, just to know what it meant, so you took it away. Till times reconnected, just like gonna forget it, you know it is done. There's something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. Something on my face, something in my veins still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. Something on my face, something in my veins still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. The more that I've done, the less I've become. I just live forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on. And then we'll become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all. Nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then we'll become just nothing at all. I've seen enough things to lose hope, and here I am still growing. I am even stronger now.
Welcome back to the RLCS 2026 2v2 North America Open. Top 16, now top 12. Or actually, yeah, it is top 12 here in the losers semi-finals. The bracket has now been fully updated. And I mentioned before we're playing against Tequeños. We are playing against Tequeños here in the loser lower bracket semi-finals. I promise you the bracket is updated. Apparently Wikipedia doesn't like us at all. Well, I guess Wikipedia is not updated correct. Is not updating right now. Well, while we wait a little bit for Wikipedia to catch up, I can tell you what our bracket is looking like right now. It's us versus Tequeños and Sup, who lost in the game 5 to Space Station Gaming, taking on Dignitas. So, I mean, the matches only get tougher. They only get more high pressure at this point, ZekVexol. But, I mean, it's very simple now. You know, we talked about all the what-ifs, the what-if scenarios. This scenario is very simple. Win, you're in the top 8. Lose, you're out.
Yeah, very simple. I mean, there's no better way to put it, really. Extra lives, you don't get second chances. That's cool. That's the simple part. That's the, on paper, real nice. Now, how do we get there is the big question. This is where we've been seeing a little bit of difficulties, a little bit of back and forth throughout the matches that we've had today. Boost control, kind of been one of those primary ones, okay? How well we can actually maintain those high boost levels, all right? I'm going to say communication a little bit. It seems like there's a little bit of a desync, but I got to say, I'm liking a lot what I'm seeing from Resnal. If that's tailored to the communication aspect between Pigeon and Resnal, Pigeon saying, I'm going to do my mechanic thing, the thing that I've seen Pigeon do time and time again throughout a numerous amount of different leagues and tournaments and RLCS splits. And Resnal, you're going to sit there and look for the follow-up, do what you do, be the silent read, and come on in for that nice little driving strike to put this one away. It looked really great in that last series. I'd like to see that kind of play a little bit more with a little bit more confidence.
One of the problems here with Tequeños, I mean, you saw that roster, First Killer and Atomic. One thing that's very true about those players, and specifically First Killer, who we've actually seen on stream before. We've actually seen both those players. Team Sounds play against both those players before. Problem is, those guys individually, very, very talented. I think earlier they can kind of get away with being able to play one-on-one. That's not going to happen with First Killer and Atomic. They're not going to beat First Killer one-on-one, that's for certain. So if your team's silenced, you're gonna have to find something, now more than ever, you have to find a different way to score, and more threats than just your mechanics, because while Pigeons and Resnal have been great on that, we're talking about First Killer and Atomic here. Those players individually are at the very top of the world, and are definitely, I think most people consider, are definitely the players you would favor in a one-on-one versus Pigeon and Resnal. So now more than ever, if you're Pigeon and Resnal, you gotta be creative in what you're gonna do, and you really gotta lean on each other to be consistent, because that's what it requires here, is ultimate consistency and ultimate awareness. And we'll wait and see what we get from them. But if this Team Silence team can be consistent, things are going to look real good for them in just a moment. Well, we're just about ready to get things going here as well. ZekVexol. I'm excited. I think everybody's excited. The admin's excited because there's our game winner again. That tells us the lobby is done. Yeah, Team Silence won. They won 69 to 43. But anyways, we'll go. You know, my overlay loves this. This is one of the things about these lobby setups that's always interesting. But again, we're moments away from our losers at semi-finals. Winner moves on, loser is out. And again, considering the kind of players we're contending against, First Killer, Atomic, players that have won these events before, have won regionals this season as well. First Killer on Shot by Rebellion, Atomic, part of NRG. And these guys are longtime teammates. These guys have been teammates for longer than they've been on their own respective orgs. So they're mechanically really good individually. For now, whenever it seems honest, you gotta really trust each other. You cannot have those communication breakdowns. You cannot slow down. And more than ever now, you gotta trust each other, and you gotta be really smart about how you challenge, because you do not want to overthink it, and you definitely don't want to get overconfident against the Tequeños, because this team is so good. You make a misstep, and they're gonna beat you one-on-one.
Take a step back, you breathe, and you say, I'm going to show them up. Doesn't matter. Don't care if you're First Killer, don't care if you're Atomic, don't care if you're Daniel, don't care. I don't care who you are. Kofer, you know, I'll just start spitting people from both the rosters, you know. It doesn't matter who you are. At the end of the day, you're another Rocket League player sitting across from me. You're another Rocket League team sitting across from me, looking to have the same outcome that I am. You're on the same stage. You're in the top 12. Now go ahead and get yourself a part of the equation. Team Silence has been a part of that discussion already numerous times. Back in split number 1, open number 1, qualifying for that top 8 position in threes. Congratulations. That's immediately putting you into the discussion. Then top 12 over in open 2. Then, you know, we're kind of sitting over in that a little bit less area on open 3, 4, and 5, but constantly going up against this high level competition, constantly taking games off this high level competition, and taking series off these high level teams as well. You're already a part of the discussion, you're already a part of the equation. Now it's about going here, showing up, and putting your names out there right here, right now, because this is where it counts. You have the skill to do it. You do. To put it into actual gameplay.
You said it as well. We're in the lobby here. Team Silence on the blue. Pigeon and Resinal going to take on Atomic and Fresco. Players that have won regional events, have won opens this season. Players that have been on land, on a live stage against the rest of the world. This is the gatekeeper to top 8. Atomic, reset, taken away by Pigeon. Team Silence looking for that early lead, and I don't know how much offense they're going to have this series. They've not been a team with a lot of offense today at times, Team Silenced. Their defense is going to be put to the absolute limit here against Atomic and Fresco. There is no doubt about it in my mind. You're going to have to be prepared for that. So far, so good for Team Silence. Tequeños sort of eyeing up the competition. Maybe give it a game or two before we see what Tequeños can do as a duo. But right now, they're kind of just watching Team Silence. They're trying to study this team. They're trying to adapt to this team. Some of the best teams in this tournament, teams like Tequeños, teams that expect us to do really well, are teams that can adapt really well to you. So right now, expect a bit of a slow start for Tequeños. As time goes on, they're going to get faster, they're going to get more confident, and they're going to start really attacking the weak points of Team Silenced.
It's that dangerous factor we were talking about actually just even earlier on today, back over on the first series where we were saying, hey, Team Silence, they came out swinging, but then they started doing a lot of the same stuff over and over again. It took a couple games for SUP to catch on, for SUP to start making the adaptations and the changes. I'm going to tell you right now, this all-star lineup, it ain't going to be taking a couple maps. It's not going to be taking a couple games. It might take, a couple minutes, if not a couple seconds, for them to really understand exactly what you're doing. And take a look at this first one on the board. It's Tequeños. They saw your backboard. They attacked it very swiftly. Look at this. The pass comes over to Atomic, goes for the double, pass the first killer right on back, ball into the net. Tequeños are first.
Yeah, it is, and that's the concerning part there with Resinal and Tequeños. Just know that the problem with players like Fresco and Atomic, one thing they also have is that everybody knows how good these guys are. Everybody knows just how talented these players are in threes and in twos as well, that you have to give them respect, and giving respect is what these players want you to do. So it's really tough to not do that, because you typically play better if you don't give people respect. The problem is, these are kind of players that you sort of have to, because they are just that good. As here goes first, here goes Atomic, here goes 2-0 Tequeños, heating up. He said it only takes a few minutes for this, it may only take a few minutes for this team to get going, and look at this, already 2 minutes gone, 2 goals up for Tequeños. They're making quick work of Team Silenced.
Yeah, look at the read on Pigeon right there. And first killer just pops it up over the top, hits the backboard back to Atomic, and that one just went on in. They found a little bit of a gap right there, and that's all it takes. I say it every single time. All you need is the balls width to put the ball into the net, and at the highest of level, that's all they really need. That's something that they don't ever get. So if you do give them that opportunity, they will absolutely capitalize on it in the moment's notice and not give you a single moment to react to it. Tequeños 2-goal lead. Atomic lining this one on up. Resinal and Pigeon both playing in and around the goal, kind of in this little bit of a bunker down position. Demoed out instantly when Pigeon was looking to make an offensive push. First killer to the backboard, the double, that one spiked down and in. They found their groove, they found their stride, they found how to attack this Team Silence roster.
Yeah, and you said it, it's all to the back wall right now for Tequeños. Back wall attack, back wall pressure, and letting their, again, mechanics of the best. And in a lot of ways, they're kind of similar to Team Silence. And this isn't really a team for Tequeños. It's just 2 players just doing whatever they want to do on the ball. With faith that the other in behind is going to help them. That's going to be 4-0 right there. As a bad touch for Team Silence is an easy net for first killer. But if you are Tequeños, Tequeños are just doing a lot of the same things Team Silence does, and that is just letting the individual kind of rule out. They're not doing as much team passing play. It's just kind of mechanics, 1v2, and see if you can make the net open. The thing is, though, right now, that one thing that we do know, these guys can do that. Team Silenced have had their issues with that today. They like doing it, they have been able to do it, but against Tequeños, I think the argument's going to come down to who is going to do that individual 1-on-2, that opening up the play better. The answer is pretty clear. They're leading by 5 goals.
I can't say it's anything too crazy either. It's just a systematic understanding, and that's where you have to ask the question of, is Team Silence making their plays that obvious? You know, are they very readable in that avenue? Are the individual plays that they're doing, the team plays that they're doing, very simple to really break apart for Tequeños? Like we said, this one started off a little bit slower. Tequeños looking for the read, looking to get that understanding. How are they rotating? How are they moving off? How are they playing off one another? How are they passing to one another? Are they passing to one another? How can we capitalize on that? Where are the openings? And let's start striking. Team Silence need to take a step back and look at it and say exactly what I said on the desk before this matchup. These are two other Rocket League players. One other team is sitting across from you, looking to get the same outcome you are. I can guarantee you this Tequeños roster did not come into this one thinking it was just going to be a quick little sweep, a quick little wipe, and they were going to walk over this Team Silence roster. They'll play you with respect because you're here for a reason.
Yeah, you're right as well. Team Silence have earned their spot here in the top 12. Now they must earn their way to challenge Tequeños. Down 5 goals in game 1, though. It feels like things might be a bit hopeless here, at least to start the series. Resinol just looking for something to go in. A minute left in the game. Double tapping in! Beautifully made by Resinol, albeit might be a goal a bit too late. Might be a goal where there's not really a comeback possible. But that's a big goal for Team Silence. It tells them they're in this thing and they can take down Tequeños. At least they can make them bleed.
It might not be a comeback here in game number 1, but it's a good mental chalk back right now for Team Silence. If they bleed, like you said, then they can fall. We can take them on down. This Tequeños roster can lose. They've held them out to 0. Now a little bit almost to the 1. His first killer in Atomic going for another onslaught, but ultimately getting denied. Team Silence, though, they got one on the board. Another shot attempt by Atomic. First killer over to the sidewall. Gonna let this one just drop on down. Look at this, just clock play at this point. Atomic carries it, ends up hitting it off the top post. Pigeon following it on up. Now Resinol going aerial carry right on back. Flip reset once, can't get the second. It's a bounce play, but Atomic is there to take it up to the back wall and bring it right back down.
Oh, what a save from Resinol on no boost as well. Tequeños' offense has been stopped by the end of this game, and well, this is a game that was clearly won by Tequeños. I'm going to say this final minute, won by Team Silence. They looked like the better team in this final minute. You're not going to win any game winning in just the final minute, but if you're Team Silence, this is a confidence booster for you there. That is going to hit the floor. But this final minute, they looked better than Tequeños, and that is pretty impressive considering the caliber of players on that team. They need to now take that final minute of gameplay and put it over a full 5-minute game, and then do it again and again.
Well, yeah, so take a step back and say, what was the difference right there? What was the difference in that final minute and the first 4, okay? How do we stop them from scoring? How did we stop them from scoring and then start putting that 1 goal on the board? Because at the end of the day, you could get the 0 to the 1, but don't win, right? You take a game off them, you could get the first game in the series and then start racking it up from there. If they can bleed, they can fall. And right now, 1 goal back, honestly, that's a nice little bounce back. That's a stopgap in this Tequeños pressure, the momentum that they're starting to build. Game number 2, Sporty, though, it's about to get underway.
It is, and while Team Silence may have looked better in that final minute, this is still a game that they didn't really have much of a chance in when Tequeños started moving. Once Tequeños started going, once they started kind of doing what they, once they were done their warm-up, once they had had an idea of how Team Silence played, you saw them really just pull them apart, attacking the back wall. First killer, flip reset. Resinol doesn't have enough boost, and first killer can smell blood in the water. He's a shark, and he submarines this goal right under Resinol. And the thing is, he knew Resinol was scared. He absolutely made Resinol fear for his life, and for good reason. Resinol doesn't have boost, and he's so worried about that flip reset, that first killer, he has options to work with.
We said getting on into the desk before this one, set it back over in the first series. Second series, where is the boost? It's gonna come down to that. Your resource management right now. Another spike on down. First killer just getting a great angle off the left side corner, off the ceiling. Second touch, hits it down and just bounces it right on and in. It's a 2-goal lead for Tequeños here in the first 30.
4.5 minutes to go, but this is a scary looking game too already. Team Silence will need to work, and will need to work soon. You do not want to let Tequeños run with momentum here. As Pigeon, with the same old reliable, gets that dunk. Resinol unable to shoot from that position, though. Recovery will remove any sort of opportunities for him. Atomic, the first killer. Ooh, actually towards the net. He didn't get the touch he wanted there. And Team Silence will just clear it away. Would have liked a better first touch from Reznol. He will fall on top of it, but this is still Tequeños' ball. Cleared back. Reznol, he doesn't like his look here. Demoed away by Atomic. And Tequeños will be back upfield again. First to the corner. Reznol will call for it off of Pigeon. First killer again. Pigeon now with the hold, and Team Silence defensively. It's been trouble for them this series. But they're able to at least hold things close for now. But you really, if your Team Silence, you can't afford to keep letting goals go in. You can't afford to let Tequeños build up an even bigger lead at this point. The bigger the lead, the tougher the comeback, and the way more likely it is that you're gonna have to win this thing in a reverse sweep. And let's be realistic, Tequeños are not a team I think you really want to take that chances against. They're not a team I think that is one that you want to really test in a reverse sweep, because they have experience at this high level. They have experience being down in matches. One thing they're not going to be is nervous.
Yeah, probably not. You know, I don't think Team Silenced is gonna be able to get that one, but it's definitely not out of the question. I mean, reverse sweeps happen even at the pro level, so it's just gonna be a matter of getting that first one. And here in game number 2, it's gonna be a matter of getting that first goal. Speaking of first killer, up to the sky, pinch over to Atomic. They have ball control in their pitch, your pitch, dropped on down over into the blue. Left side corner, first killer brings it out across, bunts it over towards the middle, hands it down to Pigeon. Has good boost potential right here. Goes for the drop down, but Atomic gets back in time. Second touch by Reznol. It's too high. Hits the top bar. Atomic bringing it on back. No boost for him. First killer ends up getting the takeaway. Good communication coming through from Tequeños.
Yeah, it is in a scary position defensively.
Wow.
Musty flick for first killer. And it looks second nature to him, and I can promise it almost certainly is. I mean, if you've ever seen First Goal, you know this is the kind of stuff that he can just pull out of nowhere and shrug off, because this is an average Friday for first killer. 3-0 up for Tequeños in game 2, and for Team Silence, things starting to become hopeless once more in another game that just hasn't started their way and doesn't look like it's going to end their way either.
Yeah, so average for him that he's like, okay, you know, I could be doing the same thing in ranked right now. Grinding out the queues if I really wanted to. And Atomic might be even his 2's partner. Who's to say? Tequeños, though, that's going to be the 4th one on the board for them. And the 4th one for first killer. So he got his hat trick out of the way, got a 4th one on up. And Tequeños, they're looking to lock in game number 2 and send us onto a map point, series point, and tournament point scenario for Team Silenced.
Pigeon with the ball and with the net in front. He's going to go for it himself to Reznol. And Atomic saw that all the way through. 5-0. And to answer your question, by the way, these guys are a 2's duo. They are a long-time 2's duo. So yes, this team chemistry they have is not out of nowhere between both of them. But it's 5-0 again. Tequeños are consistently putting up at least 5 goals now in the first 2 games. In each of the first 2 games. That's a scary sign for Team Silence that they've just not been able to control anything so far. Less than 2 minutes to go, but at this point, Tequeños, they're in free play. They're in free form. Team Silence, try as they might, are just not able to outplay first killer and Atomic.
Not at all. Look at this. Even off the kickoff, first killer flip reset once, goes for the pinch on down and just pops it over the top of Reznol. No answer. You can't. He's watching every single angle and he's waiting to see exactly what play you're going to make. And he puts the ball right into the opposite spot. 1:45 left. Atomic challenging Reznol right again. Not gonna be persuaded this time around. First killer pass over to Atomic. Atomic bringing it right on back. Right side corner goes for the flip reset. Ends up meeting Pigeon. Goes secondary touch. The drop down and look who's waiting. It's first killer. Does get a little bit caught off guard. A bump up picked up by Pigeon. Now aerial carry clean across. Sees opportunity in the 1v2, but I'm going to be honest. The 1v2 versus first killer and Atomic ain't going to be easy. You're not going to be able to out-mechanic them that hard. Easy.
You're not going to be able to out-mechanic them here. And all that he's trying to do is set up a shot. But Tequeños so good at recovering. I mean, one thing these guys are good at is recovering. And that's something that these top-level players are always very good at, is recovering on the ball. It's really the best way, in my opinion, to see the difference between the high-ranked players is how fast you recover on the play, even in a bad situation. Tequeños are very, very good at that. I mean, you see it from them. They're the better team at recovering. They're the faster team at recovering. And, I mean, and for Team Silence, You know, reminder, all these guys are at the very top level of the game, but the difference here is, and the best way to see how good a player is how fast they recover. Not how good their mechanics are, how fast they recover, how good their fundamentals are. Tequeños outplay Team Silence in that by a mile.
I think one of the big eye-openers for me, too, was when we casted Shopify Rebellion, when we casted First Killer and Co. with him, and you could see the difference. The fundamentals, the team play, the coordination, just the little things, and it didn't feel like it felt like it was a different level, you know. And this is that whole, when you surround yourself with these types of people, you put yourself in these scenarios, you see this time and time again, you get into those good habits, and it's not an easy scenario right now. I'm going to be entirely honest. Tequeños roster, they have been in this scenario at this pro level, at this T1 level for a long time, okay? They have built up some significantly great habits. They have them on lockdown. It's second nature to them. How do you rip it apart? How do you catch them off guard? How do you even hold them on down to one? Because they are looking rather flawless right now.
Team Silence have only scored 1 goal so far this series. Tequeños, I believe, that makes it 13 goals in 2 games. That should be everything you need to know about how this series has gone so far. Absolutely outplayed. Game 3 up next. Team Silence, if they are to make top 8, it will require a reverse sweep against 2 players that have won opens that have been on LAN. And, at least in Tomic's case, has won the World Championship.
Energy. Kind of a big deal, you know. You guys might have heard of them. Energy, you know. Shopify Rebellion, too. Maybe you heard of them. Also, 8-0, though, here. Sheesh. Is really the best thing I can really say. I mean, the takeaway. What is this? You look at this right now and just say, yeah, first off, I'm going to say, it ain't over till it's over. You know, it's obviously the important thing you need to really look at. The second takeaway, though, is this is a significantly great experience, because I do say all the time, you surround yourself with these people, you pick up those habits, you break down what they're doing. And I think that is going to be the biggest necessity for Resnal and Pigeon right here, is what is Atomic and First Killer doing so differently right now? How are their fundamentals just kind of out fundamentaling us? How are they really ripping us apart with what feels like basics? Because, I mean, take a look at this kickoff right here. No fancy tricks, no fancy little flicks, none of that right now. It's just, I got the right angle on you, and ball goes in net.
I mean, it takes just years of experience, years of practice to be so good fundamentally. That's, unfortunately, it's one of those things that you can't just change in a series as your fundamentals. You're either you're either better or worse at it, and it doesn't change. And for Team Silence at this point, I agree with you. I as well. I think of the way that this is. That last game got away from them. This game 3, whole new situation, a whole refresh. They may be down a goal, but this is a different game and a different experience for them. And see what you can take from this as a duo here. It'll be Atomic though, looking for 2-0. He's got a net to look at, but he's got Pigeon waiting, and he's got a pinch. My goodness, that won't go in. Resinal now, back post saved away by First Killer.
First Killer now bringing it right on back. Pop up. A little bit of a carry right across the pitch. Resnal on the denial. Drop on down over to the right side. Atomic, First Killer back and forth. Atomic looking to keep the pressure going. Resnal trying to strip it on away. First Killer gets on back in time. Goes for the deep play now. Trying to drop this one on down, but a little bit of good denial coming on in from Team Silence. Back and forth across the 50 line. Resnal on the pickup here. Sees Pigeon, sees First Killer. Can he get it over the top of one? He can. Atomic is here and now. Go for the center play, but he just can't. And wow, look at that bump from First Killer. Just sent Pigeon flying.
Yeah, and Resnal decided to take some action as well. He got rid of First Killer. Tequeños, though, haven't left offense. Atomic, back corner, up the ceiling, and it will be Resnal as well. Only a 1-goal difference here. Tequeños are really hunting for that second goal, and they are not going to give this up until they get it. Atomic again. Roll boost though for Team Silence. Tequeños will hold them here, and that's going to be an open net for First Killer. And 2-0. They were waiting, and they were waiting. And finally, the dam broke. Team Silence can't keep up the defense.
Another one bites the dust. Tequeños find their second here in game number 3. They're leading in the series 2-0. They're leading in game 3 2-0, and there's 3.5 minutes left on the clock here. Team Silence, can you turn this one on around and find another one of those goals? Look at this. Resnal going for a little bit of a setup play, but immediately Atomic is there. However, Resnal just strips that one away, gets the great read. Again, great read coming in from Resnal and puts it in the net. Team Silence, they're on the board for the first time since game 1.
It is a mistake from Atomic. That will lead to that goal, but you'll take any goal you can if your team silenced. You have been starving for offense this series. Considering again how last game ended, 8-0. This is already looking a whole lot better, but there's still 3 minutes for things to change for the better or for the worse. If your team silenced and well, you're still in it, you're still here, and you're still looking for a goal that will get you a little bit closer in this series. Resnal not going to outplay the Atomic there. Pigeon will have some room. And he'll have the boost. And he'll have First Killer. And First Killer will have the ball away. And the double dunk. So this is going to be open backfield for Atomic. As waiting on it is Pigeon. Resnal. Taken out. Wiped off the face of the earth. Team Silence will have the ball still. But Tequeños letting them know in not so subtle terms they're going to stay right in front of them.
It's that time play. God, who's the team that M80? Remember how crazy they were on lockdown? They got a little bit of a lead, and all of a sudden, it just felt like you couldn't get off your end of the pitch. And it's not like they were taking shot after shot after shot. It was just they were keeping you down here, making you feel pressured without too heavily of offense. It was just you couldn't budge, you couldn't move an inch right now, and that's exactly what we're seeing. As soon as Team Silence tries
oh my goodness!
Wow!
Oh my goodness!
Come on!
I think that might have been a quad tap. I think that was a quad tap. We'll count the number. That's 1,
you ready?
2,
2,
3. That's a quad
3.
tap flip reset.
Yep.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Unbelievable.
First Killer just
he's
clipped
him.
on Team Silenced.
He's just him. All right, dude. I get it. You're fine. All right. Take it.
Almost some naughty words there from ZekVexol.
I was gonna say you're fine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something else. I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Oh, it's gone in
No, I
again.
was
It's an
gonna say
own goal
he's
now.
fine, but then I'd feel
It's
like
all
I was
falling
hitting on
apart.
him.
It's all falling apart now for Tequeños.
Really didn't
sorry.
want to be hitting on First Killer.
No, I understand here. I mean, to be fair, his plays are beautiful. Like, they are like the most majestic. His plays can be the most majestic thing on earth. I'm not even joking.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen First Killer so often, right? We've seen him on the stream a good many times. Every single time, you just get like if you just go on his POV, it's like the most perfect game you've ever believed. There's a reason why everybody talks about this guy as like the best in North America, and it's a good reason. You just watch his gameplay. It looks like a perfect game, and consistently too. It's beautiful. You're right about that here. As Team Silenced, well, what was a 1-goal difference now has ballooned up to 3. Still time left in this game, but it's at this point elimination line unless they can pull something back. Oh, let's hit the post. It was a perfect setup. Pigeon missed the net there. And for Team Silence, they need to take, with the minimum number of chances they've had, that's when you really want to take, and Pigeon will be really disappointed.
Pigeon bringing it over to the back wall, but Atomic immediately up, has the boost, has the positioning, and brings it right on back. First Killer for the demo on to Resnal, removing the great read player for Team Silence today. Ball brought on back over into the orange. Tequeños a little bit under fire here. Pigeon trying to make something happen, but Atomic is there. Send it from the left corner over to the right. Now looking for a little bit of offensive pressure. Him and First Killer take it on up. Drop on down, goes a little bit wide though, so not able to convert that one. Now Resnal bringing it right on back here, takes it up to the back wall, and look at this. Pigeon just doesn't see an opening, and I don't blame him. There really isn't one. Time ticking down into the final 33-goal lead for Tequeños here in game number 3, ready to lock their game, lock themselves on into the next one.
Yeah, it would be day 5 qualified for Tequeños. Same Silence, though. Have something to say about it. 14 seconds left. They're going to need some incredible kickoff plays, and we've seen them go for fake kickoffs today with very little success immediately after. So, while they've been able to win kickoffs, they've not been able to score off of them so easily. They're going to need to do that essentially twice in a row at this point in these last 14 seconds. Resnal to Pigeon. And they just don't have it here. No bump on Atomic. 10 seconds and counting. Resnal will take the ball. He's got to score on this play. One-on-one with First Killer. The bump will be missed. Pigeon went as well. Time is over. The tournament is over. Tequeños will be in day 5. And for Team Silence, their run ends in the top 12.
Touchdown there, Tequeños with the 3-0 here. to lock themselves into day number 5, and well deserved as well. First killer with the hat trick here to close it out in game number 3, and Atomic there as well. And honestly, like we were just saying, the fundamentals are just on a level right now. You can see T1 fundamentals here from Tequeños just systematically ripping apart Team Silence, making sure to play keep away, allowing them to have their time with the ball, and just deny anything that this Team Silence roster wanted to do. It was instantly stopped. They had enough boost. I mean, Tequeños had enough boost. They were in the right positions, and they just absolutely capitalized on anything that Team Silence wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think it ultimately came down to a game where you're just playing against someone who's better than you. I think ultimately, and we knew this was a real possibility. I mean, we've seen them play against First Killer before. They don't do well against First Killer, and Team
You gotta
Silence.
see them to beat them.
Yeah, that is fair. And the unfortunate thing for Team Silence there is that is going to be the end of their run in a night that has been exceptional, that has been fun, that has been close. It ends rather lacklusterly for Team Silence. But I will say though, all things considered, this is a huge step up for them, considering that they're a team that has not exactly done well.
Top 12.
In making top 16, top 12 is huge. Top 12 is absolutely huge. Even though they're going to be disappointed that they couldn't do better in this last year, that they couldn't make top 8, they couldn't beat their personal best. Let's not lie here. Top 12 is a huge finish for this team, and one that they're going to be pretty happy with. At least they should look back happy with.
I mean, even just this matchup, I think, if we were to get down into the specifics, you should be absolutely happy. Come on. Now, you take the top 12 with I can't even say what I was going to say. Honestly, take the top 12 and be ecstatic about it. You look at what we were talking about all throughout the second split of RLCS, not even qualifying for top 16, finding themselves stuck in this day 3 cycle in that Swiss bracket, going the distance and just getting knocked on out. So I think this is a really great thing, and definitely the bounce back that they needed. And now going to this matchup, all right? This matchup specifically alone, take the whole day into account, but this match alone, you're going up against people who just won the world championship, okay? You're going up against Atomic. You got First Killer there as well. You got two big name T1 players who have significant amount of time with one another. I think what I would do personally, I'm not a Rocket League competitive player, but as a comp player from other games, it's such a great learning experience to be able to go up against these kinds of players and to just see what they do and really rip it apart and be like, what is different from their gameplay to mine? And I'm not saying to copy, but to just kind of figure out what are they looking for? What are they doing? What are they capitalizing on that I'm doing?
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with you as well on that. Now, this is going to be the end of our day, but it will not be the end of the 2v2 North American Open, because there's a whole other group. We're in Group A. There's a Group B as well. We'll show you guys what that looks like if you weren't here earlier. This is Group B. This is going to start in just a few moments here. As you can see, the group with Genji, Pafura, Elsie, Virtus Pro, Juice and Monk, Energy, and Bronian. Of those 8 teams, only 4 of them will be in the top 8 at the end of the day and will be here tomorrow on the RLCS Rocket League main channel. What's happening, by the way? We'll also update you on the other series that's been happening. That being Sup and Dignitas. They're in Game 4 right now. Sup is leading the series 2-1. Dig is leading the game, though, 3-2 with 3 minutes left. So we're not going to have an update for you on that series. That game's going to probably play for another couple of minutes. But with this group B, there's some fun teams in here. There's some more action to be played. Top 8 is going to be wild, considering what we've already seen earlier, considering some of the other teams that have already guaranteed their spot as well. Furia has, I believe it's Furia that's made it, as well as Zen and Atto that have made it as well. I know Zen and Atto made it. They were dominant in Europe. And for South,
oh God, crazy good.
They were so dominant. I think, what was it, 44-1 was the ending scoreline of all the games played? Seriously insane. By the way, it was not Furia, it was Backyardigans, which is the Furia team. It's Yanks, it's Yan and Swift. So they made it as well. Ultimately, though, this top 8 is going to be stacked. It's going to be exciting, and there's going to be a whole lot more fun to go with. There's some amazing competitors in this thing.
Yeah, a lot of really great competitors, and I really love this too because it does feel like a change up. You've been seeing a lot of these threes rosters out there on the main stage. I mean, even with the Paris Major that just took place, everybody's seeing, what people are bringing to the table, and all of a sudden the huge shakeup of the twos. Who's teaming with who? Are you teaming with somebody from your team? Are you grabbing somebody, a buddy from a different team? Or are you grabbing, Joe Schmo, your ranked duo partner, and just all of a sudden, we find out Joe Schmo is actually pretty cracked. Put this guy on a team, sign him up on a roster. That's the awesome part about these opens. It's really great to see what people pull out and to see exactly how hard you could just destroy your opponents. I mean, like we were saying with Zen, unbelievable, that record.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Well, that'll end it for us here. Thank you all for joining us for day 4 of the RLCS 2026 2v2 North American Open. Thank you to our sponsors, Rogue Energy, Cold Stone Creamery. Again, up there in the top right. You can see them as well if you do exclamation.org and really go get yourself some support our sponsors. Thank you to ZekVexol. We finally made a top 16 for Team Silence. The curse is over. Of course, the season's not over. There's still the last chance qualifier later in July. But for RLCS action here, the 2v2 North American Open continues, but without Team Silence. Thank you so much for joining us. Have an amazing rest of your Friday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Take care. Have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the RLCS 2v2 Open.